Junior, no, she's a good kid. Very polite. Yeah. Getting to the stage with that embarrasses her, That's alright. I didn't even spot that about the. Okay, thank you. I reckon it'll take me about 2 hours to get down and 2 hours to get back up. You've done that, right? You've gone? I hope so. Just getting around Belfast is a problem. Good morning and welcome to our second final session of the McCullagh International Open for 2020. It's session 6. We've had a number of heats, a number of junior events as well. My name's Nick O'Hare and I'm glad to be joined by Grania Murphy, Irish Olympian from 2012. There are quite a lot of fast swimming that we're expecting this morning, and we'll have the list of events very, very shortly for you. This is, of course, is the Dave McCullagh International Meet that has attracted a lot of attention from overseas. We're going to start off with the men's 400 individual medley, which will feature Max Litchfield, who placed fourth in this event at the 2016 Olympic Games. Female 50 metre butterfly, we're going to see Mona McSharry, our former World Junior Champion. Male 50 butterfly. Female 200 IM will feature the Commonwealth Games champion. Female 200 freestyle, followed by the male 200 metre freestyle. And of course Duncan Scott, the two-time Olympic silver medalist, will be featuring in that. Female 100 metre backstroke. Male 100 metre backstroke, we're going to see Shane Ryan, who semi-finals in this event at the 2016 Olympic Games. Female 200 metre breaststroke, and then followed by the male 200 metre backstroke. The female 200 metre butterfly, and then we're going to finish with the 1500 freestyle for men and the 800 metre freestyle for women. At that point, Grania will be joined by John Rudd, who's the high performance director for Irish Swimming. So hang on there, folks, to get an insight in terms of how Irish swimming is from a high performance perspective, what the short, medium and long term plans, and of course what the hopes and aspirations are, not only for the Olympic trials but indeed for the Olympic Games, which will happen in less than 6 months. So our first event this morning will be the main 400 metre individual medley. Grania, good morning.
Good morning.
And looking forward to some fast swimming this morning.
Absolutely, and it's always nice to get started. We saw it yesterday morning, starting with the 400 IM for girls. We're going to have it for men now this morning. So Be great to see Max Litchfield, Tony Joe, Tresh Oliver, and there's a good few, even Caden McCarthy there from National Centre in McMallow. There's a lot of good, strong swimmers here to see this morning.
Yes, and as you mentioned, Max Litchfield, very unlucky back in 2016. He's 4th place in the Olympic Games. He'll be looking to go at least one place better when the renewal of that event happens, beginning on the 24th of July in Tokyo. All going well. Of course, coronavirus is causing some concerns, but unlikely that they're going to cancel the event, Grania.
No, and I think there was an article released there just a couple of days ago that London will be happy to host if people can't travel to Tokyo. So I think they're already starting to look at a backup plan. Hopefully it won't come to that, because obviously a lot of people are looking forward to heading to Tokyo and a lot of plans are in place. So it would be great that we could go to Tokyo, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, and that would obviously we're holding the event here on the same time frames that we would be expecting in Tokyo, which is heats at night time and finals in the morning. And so that would throw everybody's plans into somewhat disarray, but being adaptable as swimmers are, I'm sure that it wouldn't be such a major issue. Of course, all the broadcasters have booked their slots, their hotels, flights have been booked for, paid for, and so on. So we'll wait and see what happens. So we're going to see now the B final for the 400 metres individual medley. Your lineup: in lane 0, Jake Kirkham from YDS Scotland. Lane 1 sees Samuel Smith from Northampton Swimming Club. Max Elkin from Swim Wales, he goes in lane number 2. Jack Fleming from Lisburn, he's in 3. Lane 4 sees Tom Robinson from the University of Aberdeen Performance Swimming. Cameron Allison from YDS Scotland, he goes in lane 5. Sligo has Ronan Kilcoyne in lane 6. Lane 7 sees Paul Cox from Lisburn City, and Evan Bailey from New Ross goes in lane 8. And completing our lineup is Bluefin's Robin Pfeiffer, and we see him at the top of our screen, and he will be in lane number 9. 400 metre individual medley consists of 100 metres of 4 strokes. That's 100 metres butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke and freestyle. Expect to see the lead change here from time to time, as different swimmers have different strengths. Obviously the breaststroke and the backstroke are the 2 slower of the disciplines, so that's when we generally seem to see some movement. So 8 lengths of the pool. Our lineup again: lane 0, Jake Kirkham, he's down the bottom of your screen. Samuel Smith from Northampton, lane 1. 2 is Max Elkin, Swim Wales. Lisburn City's Jack Fleming in 3. Tom Robinson of University of Aberdeen Performance, he's in 4. Lane 5 sees Cameron Allison from YDS Scotland. Lane 6, Ronan Kilcoyne, Sligo. Lisburn City's Paul Cox goes in 7. Evan Bailey from New Ross is in 8, and lane 9 is Robin Pfeiffer from Bluefin at the top of the screen. And already taking somewhat of a lead is Max Elkin, the 16-year-old from Swim Wales. Pretty even throughout the rest of the field, but Elkin here taking about a body length lead. University of Aberdeen's Tom Robinson is beginning to chase him down, and sandwiched in between those two is Jack Fleming from Lisburn City. But coming in now, 100 metres of the 400 metres completed, and it's Max Elkin, the 16-year-old from Swim Wales, who's taken the lead.
Very strong start there from Max Elkin from Swim Wales. Really nice butterfly stroke there. He looked quite controlled, but it will show now in the next 100 to 200 metres what their strengths are. He is being chased down quite closely by Jack Fleming and Tom Robinson.
So it's Fleming and Robinson both beside those yellow lane lines, but a man who's out ahead is young Max Elkin, 16-year-old from Swim Wales. big contingent of swimmers over from the United Kingdom. We have Swim Wales, we have YDS Scotland, we've Glasgow University, we have Sunderland over with us. We also have the Loughborough team, which features, among others, Adam Peaty, the Olympic world and European champion and record holder, and we're going to see a little bit more of him later on today in the 200 breaststroke. But as we were, Max Elkin, Swim Wales, his lead has been cut somewhat. He's only a body length ahead, and that's been broken down by Jack Fleming in lane 3. He's the 19-year-old from Lisburn City. Fastest qualifier, Tom Robinson, University of Aberdeen. We're going to look for a good breaststroke from him, because he's going to have to come through the field in order to make an impression so that he can do something on the freestyle leg. And down there in lane number 0, Jake Kirkham from YDS Scotland. He is having a good swim. But it's Elkin. Elkin's smooth and long. You can see the long kick, the narrow kick, and the long extension. And they're really his competitors, Robinson and Allison, are not making any impact in on him right at this moment. So 150 metres to go.
Great swim here from Max Elkin. I did think that somebody might chase him down either on the backstroke or breaststroke, because it is hard to know in a 4x100 or 400 metre medley event. But he's going from strength to strength, really long, smooth breaststroke here, and he's actually pulling away even on this second 50 a little bit more.
So it's Elkin. His stroke rate has increased. That's the number of strokes he takes, or the cadence of the stroke, and you can see that he's really driving through. He's now got a 2 body length lead, and it seems, barring a disaster, that this win will be his. So that's Malc Elkin turning in 3:38.79. His entry time from yesterday evening heats is 4:49, so we expect him to get well underneath that. And there's a good fight happening between Jack Fleming from Lisburn City and Tom Robinson for the second position here.
And it could be the case that both Tom Robinson and Jack Fleming actually don't know that Max Elkin is that farther ahead, because he got out from the start and he stayed ahead. So it might be only when they got onto the different strokes or front row, when they were turning side to side, that they could see his kick. And they are closing the gap now. Yeah,
and at that stage it was too late. But Elkin, here he comes, 25 metres to go. Beautiful stroke, nice and controlled, looks very, very strong. His entry time again was 4:49. He's going to go under that quite significantly. So Elkin coming in for the finish, head down. So that's Elkin in first position. Jack Fleming from Lisburn takes second, and University of Aberdeen Performance Swimming, Tom Robinson, he takes the third position. So a 4:43 for Elkin. That's a 6-second improvement on his entry time, so he'll be very, very pleased with that. And that finishes him in 11th position. So there's your results. Max Elkin from Wales Swimming, he wins. Jack Fleming, Tom Robinson. Then we got Paul Cox, Cameron Allison, Ronan Kilcoyne, Samuel Smith, Evan Bailey, Robin Pfeiffer, and Jake Kirkham. So that, of course, is the B final. So how we operate in swimming is the top 20 from the heats will go through to either B final or A final. So the top 10 will go through to the A final. The next 10 will go through to the B final, or the consolation final, as it used to be called. So looking forward now to the 400 metre individual medley A final. Quite a deep field here. We have only got 2 Irish swimmers. In fact, Ethan Hansen from Trojan and Caden McCarthy from the National Centre in McCullagh. All of the other swimmers in this are international visitors. So great to see. And here's the first of our competitors. Samuel Blackett from Northampton Swimming Club. His teammate Jackson O'Rourke, he will go in lane 0. Caden Edwards from Swim Wales, another 16-year-old. Swim Wales having a good competition here this week. City of Glasgow's Craig Greenock. He will go in lane number 1. Jay Manners, now one of our British visitors from Dermonside, a 21-year-old. So one of our only 2 Irish swimmers in this event, Ethan Hansen from the Trojan Club in South Dublin. Another 16-year-old, Harvey Freeman, he's from Northampton. He will go in lane number 6. This is Tony Joe Trent Oliver, he's from the University of Stirling. He goes in lane 3. 20-year-old Caden McCarthy, the second of the Irish swimmers from National Centre Limerick Mallow. He goes in lane 5. And in the class of this field, Max Litchfield, 4th in the Olympic Games in 2016. He's a 25-year-old from Loughborough. He recorded a time of 4:19 in the heats last night. That's 16 seconds ahead of the second fastest qualifier, Caden McCarthy. So he's not going to be touched, Grania.
Absolutely not, and I think we'll see him take this out very, very strong, foot controlled, and work his way through the hundredths and each stroke. He's a very, very experienced at this. As you said, he's competed at all the international competitions, so we're going to see this here, and it'll be interesting to see how Caden McCarthy and Ethan Hansen both handle this.
Yeah, it's big competition for them, probably one of the first times that they've actually been exposed to this level. They've got to really swim their own race, right? If they get carried away with what Litchfield is doing, that'll throw their race off.
They do, absolutely.
So here we go, 400 metres individual medley. Incidentally, the Olympic A qualifying time is 4:15.84. Litchfield has his Olympic trials in about 5 weeks' time, so he'll be looking to get close to that. And we're away. Lane 0, Jackson O'Rourke from Northampton Swimming Club. 19-year-old Craig Greenock, he's from the City of Glasgow, he's in 1. In 2, Ethan Hansen from NCD Trojan. 3 sees Tony Joe Tread Oliver, University of Stirling. Max Litchfield, he goes in 4. Caden McCarthy from NCL Mallow, he's in 6. Northampton's Harvey Freeman, he goes in 6. Derbyshire, Jay Manners, he goes in 7. Lane 8 sees Caden Edwards, Swim Wales. And the 22-year-old Samuel Blackett from Northampton Swimming Club goes in lane number 9. But already, as predicted, Max Litchfield taking it out hard. So this is going to be effectively a time trial, which will be the time trial for the gold medal, and then everybody else fighting it out for the silver medal. Caden McCarthy, NCL Mallow, he's within 2 body lengths. Good start from him, and down in lane number 2, Ethan Hansen from Trojan. So we have Max Litchfield from University of Liverpool, followed by 2 Irish swimmers, both here wearing silver caps in lane 2 and lane number 5.
Great swim there, a great start there from Max Litchfield. Breathing everyone for 100 butterfly in the start, turning in 58, very, very controlled, and we've seen him just pulling away, and we're going to see him pull even further away in this backstroke leg.
So Litchfield using the underwater, getting about 7 or 8 metres in. When swimmers swim backstroke, they're allowed to go 15 metres underwater. If they go any further than that, they're disqualified. But Litchfield taking about 7 or 8 metres, and really streets ahead of everybody else. He's opened up a 10-metre lead. You can see the strength of his backstroke there. There was only 2 body lengths between them about 100 metres ago. So Litchfield coming in now. He was a 2:06 last night, so he's 2:05. So we've got 4:19 as his entry time. We'll be looking to get down around 4:17, 4:16, which we'll be very pleased with. Great performances coming out so far from the 2 Irish swimmers. That's NCD Trojans. Ethan Hansen, lane 2, he's just been passed, but he's in 4th position. 3rd place at the moment is Tony Joe Oliver Trett, and up there in lane number 5 is Caden McCarthy, the 20-year-old from NCL Mallow. Up there also in lane number 8, Caden Edwards from Swim Wales, the 16-year-old, is beginning to make a move, but no doubt about who's going to win this event. Already 150 metres out, so he's turned in 2:42, and this is Max Litchfield, placed 4th at the Olympic Games in 2016. Interesting stroke, Cronia.
It is an interesting stroke. He is gliding, but there's kind of that little pause there at times. So I'm wondering, is it a bit of fatigue, or he is definitely in heavy training. He's not going to be rested for this. So it'll be interesting to see at his trials when we're watching how different it is from them.
And it's Litchfield coming in. He's turning here in at 3:20. So we'd expect him to come back in about 58, 57. So we're looking at a 4:17, 4:18. Still holding on to second place is Caden McCarthy, the 20-year-old from Mallow. In third, Tony Joe Tret Oliver. He has come through the field and he's up in third. A good challenge there now, coming up just above Caden McCarthy from Harvey Freedom from Northampton Swimming Club. But no doubt about what the class of the field is. It is Max Litchfield turning in 3:50, so we're probably looking at a 4:17, 4:18. Reading to his right, we see he's gone to his legs. 6-speed kick all the way, 25 metres. And he has absolutely obliterated this field. It's a good training swim for him, but nonetheless, it's his first long course competition, a 50-metre competition of the year. And it comes in and finishes in a 4:19.81, slightly slower than his heat qualifying time. Silver medal would go to Caden McCarthy from NCL Mallow, and third should be taken by the swimmer in lane 3, and yes it has, and that's Oliver Trent from University of Stirling. So a very comfortable swim there from Litchfield.
It was, and you can see afterwards he was a little bit disappointed. Obviously everybody is here to swim faster than they did last night. He just went 0.8 slower, so that's the whole point of this, to get here, is swim fast in the evening in the heats to get into the final, swim fast in the final to get yourself a good time in preparation for Tokyo. So a little bit disappointed, but overall great swim, and especially in heavy training.
Yeah, and I think we saw the effect of that over the last 100 metres. When he turned, I was expecting to do a 4:17, 4:18, and he drifted a little bit. So obviously the tiredness kicked in at that stage. But moving on, we have the women's 15-metre butterfly. It says he won up there, but it is the B final. So your lineup is Elise Cousins from YDS Scotland in lane 0. In lane 1, Thomasina Grove from Chelsea. Lane 2 sees Eddie Turner, Perth City Swim Club. City of Glasgow have Lauren Patterson. She goes in lane 3. Caoimhe Quinn goes in lane 4. She's from the Aer Lingus Swim Club in Dublin. Northampton Swim Club has Betsy Wizard. She's in lane 5. Lane 6 sees Caitlin Cambrock from the City of Sunderland. Anna Feenan goes from City Sunday Well Swimming Club in Cork in lane 7. Lane 8 sees Alex McRae, City of Belfast, local girl. And completing the lineup is Georgia Harvey, the 18-year-old from Derwentshire, and she goes in lane number 9. Now Quinn is the fastest qualifier here, but less than a tenth of a second separates 4 swimmers. So it's Quinn here in lane number 4, Betsy Wizard in lane number 5, and really it's between these two. It looks like Betsy Wizard has a bit of a lead. Caoimhe Quinn trying to come back at her, but also there is Caitlin Cambrock from Sunderland. But it looks like it's going to be Betsy Wizard who's going to get the touch, and it is Betsy Wizard, 28.45. Absolutely smashes her entry time by over a full second. So Betsy Wizard, she wins it. Caitlin Cambrock comes in second place, and Elise Cousins out of lane 0, the 15-year-old, she comes in third place. So moving swiftly along to the A final, that's Zoe Musial from Chelsea. Next we're going to see Andrea Cox from Lisburn City. So from Swim Wales there, Chloe Pritchard, she goes in lane 8. Gabrielle Melbourne Smith, another of the Swim Wales contingent, she's in 1. Rebecca de Torres now, she's also from Swim Wales. We've got 4 of them. The Torres goes in lane 7. Otter Swimming Club in North Dublin, Jenna McDougall, she goes in lane 2. Ciara Morris, lane number 6, the 18-year-old from Swim Wales. The first Irish woman ever under 60 seconds for 100 metres butterfly, Ellen Walsh. She's going to stake a claim to this title. Harriet Wells now from Loughborough, 23-year-old. And fastest qualifier, Mona McSharry, the 20-year-old from the Marlins Club. She goes in lane 4. She won the 100-metre freestyle yesterday. She's obviously a breaststroke specialist. And we're going to see how this goes here. So we'll be looking at McSharry, the explosive power. She's over half a second faster than West, who's above her there in lane 5. So here we go. It should be a fast one. First up is McSharry, and you can see that she's already taken a bit of a lead, but Ellen Walsh isn't letting away from her, so it seems to be down between McSharry and Walsh. McSharry's power seems to be coming through. Walsh beginning to drop again a little bit, but it's McSharry head and shoulders above the rest. McSharry and Walsh and Harriet West getting into the mix, but no doubt about the winner here. It is Mona McSharry, 27.14. That is a half a second improvement on her qualifying time from earlier on. That's last night. And about half a second outside of her Irish record of 26.62. Impressed with that?
Very impressed. Really, really strong. Mona actually looks really, really strong in the water at the moment. We've seen her yesterday in the 100 freestyle, again back in the 50 butterfly. Looking very, very strong. So an exciting few weeks for her now going into Irish Open.
Yes, and of course the Irish Open 5 weeks time. So we're moving now on to the men's equivalent. The big name here is Callum Bain, the local guy from Cookstown, 24-year-old. He is 0.8 of a second faster than anybody else in this race. Well, we begin with the B final. Angus Nicholl from the City of Glasgow swim team, he goes in 0. Peter Hickens is in lane 1. He's from Sunday's Well. Derwent side, Joel O'Halloran goes in lane 2. Thomas Curry from Northampton, he's in 3. Lane 4 sees Cameron Clark from Swim Wales. Lane 5 is Ben Martin, University of Stirling. Limerick's Jeremy O'Connor, he goes in lane number 6. Lane 7 sees Morgan Berryman. He's the local boy from Bangor, is well used to this pool. And Sharks, Callum Ashton in 8. And completing the lineup, NCD Laois Marlins, Sean Scallon goes in lane number 9. We expect Cameron Clark to win this, however he's going to have some tough competition from Thomas Curry and Ben Martin. So less than a second between all these 10 swimmers, and you got Cameron Clark there he's had a relatively sluggish start, and if you look up above him, Ben Martin from Stirling is giving it a good go, as is Jeremy O'Connor from the University of Limerick. It looks like it's going to be the University of Limerick swimmer, depending on his touch. And it is Jeremy O'Connor, 26.07. Cameron Clark, the fastest qualifier, he finishes second in 26.14, with Morgan Berryman from Bangor. He comes in third place in 26.21. Close one there, Gráinne.
It was close, and it comes down to spotting your finish. We saw that from Jeremy O'Connor. He spotted it from 5 metres out. He knew exactly how to get his hand on that wall and make the best finish he could. And it just proves if you can do that, you can get your hand on the wall fastest.
And that's the key about 50 metres. You know, when we're looking in a long course, people will often spend less time than they should on starts and finishes. If you look at the start, it's about 12 to 15 metres. If you look at the finish, it's 5 metres out. You know, so that's 17, 18 metres, let's call it, over a 50 metre race, which is 36%, to call it 35% of the total race. But swimmers don't spend anywhere near 35% of their time working on those issues.
I know, and it's I think a lot more over the last few years. People have started to focus on their starts, turns and finishes, because they're key components of your race. They can either get you in that final, get you on that medal podium, or lose out. So that's where coaches are starting to really focus on.
Yeah, and that makes sense. So we are moving to the A final. Conor McNeil from the city of Glasgow, 23-year-old, goes in lane 0. Mark Ford, his teammate from the city of Glasgow, he goes in lane 9. Cole Hewitt is in lane 1, he's from Wales. Paddy Johnson, had a few finals from Paddy already, he's been coached by Andrew Bray from time to time. He's from Ireland, he's in 2. University of Stirling's Dan Atkinson, he goes in lane 3. Fastest qualifier, Colin Bale from Cookstown, he's 0.8 of a second, 0.7 of a second faster than anybody else in this race, and he's expected to win this at a canter. However, Killian Melly may have something to say about that. He goes in lane 5 from National Centre Limerick, Castlebar. Ards have Michael Hewitt, he goes in lane 6. Grant Henderson, his 3rd City of Glasgow swim team member, he goes in lane 7. Lewis Maxwell in lane 8 is from Derbynside ARC. And finally, making up the lineup is Mark Ford, again from City of Glasgow. So City of Glasgow have 3 here. Callum Bain looks like the guy to beat here.
Absolutely, and I think we saw him yesterday in the 50 front crawl, very, very strong, and this is his main event here now, 50 butterfly. Strong over the 100 butterfly as well, but he's going to be out here to see where he is, test the waters before trials.
Of course, the Irish record stands at 23.65. We don't expect to see that, but anything down under that entry time at 24.63 I'm sure would be very pleasing. 50 metres, 1 length of the pole. And Ben got away very, very well there. Reaction time 0.70, but the fastest reaction time was that of Atkinson. He's in lane 3. So Atkinson is giving Bain a bit of a run for his money. Less than 15 metres to go, but it seems the class of the field, Bain is coming through. And Bain has half a body leg lead. Atkinson still chasing it down, coming down to the finish. And it is Bain who takes it in a time of 24.60. Atkinson comes in second position, and Michael Hewitt from Ards by 1/100 of a second takes the bronze medal.
Very strong swim there from Callum Bain. He really did progress throughout the 50. Very strong start, and then just held on. Again, spotted his finish, which we saw Jeremy O'Connor do in the B final. Callum Bain spotted his finish really well there in the A final.
And of course that is, as Grania said, one of the key things, especially over 50 metres. So we now have the first of our junior finals. We're actually going to go to presentations, in fact. So we're going to leave you with presentations for a minute or two, and then we will be back for the first of our junior finals, which will be the 200 metres individual medley for ladies. that is the first of our medal presentation. Max Litfield, who won the 400 individual medley by a couple of lengths, as they might say in horse racing parlance. So we are moving on to the girls 12 to 13 200 meter individual medley. All Irish based swimmers in this, and I say that because we've had quite a significant impact of our international visitors in the senior events indeed, and that 400 individual medley, only 2 of the participants in the final were actually from Irish clubs, so it's great to see the interest in this Dave McCullagh International Meet, which of course has been held at the Aurora Complex in Bangor in North County Down, a facility that was established in 2013. Absolutely impressive facility. 10 lane 50 meter pool, and to the left of it, and you'll see it later on, is the diving pool, which has been used as a warm-up pool. So that in itself is 25 meters long, and it is a 6-line pool, so an ideal location and an ideal setup for a international meet, and hence the attraction that has brought the likes of world and Olympic champions, world medalists, and of course the world record holder Adam Peaty, who swam so wonderfully in the 100 meters breaststroke yesterday. The young ladies coming out for the 200 meter individual medley sees in lane 0 Ava Bailey from the New Ross Club. Lane 1 is Ruby Marley, she's from Terranure. Limerick's Aoife Burns, she goes in lane 2. Katie McFarland, she's in lane 3 from Banbridge. Ards have Grace Davison, she is the fastest qualifier on a 2:29. In fact, she is 6 seconds ahead of anybody else in this race. She goes in lane 4. Lane 5 sees Rosie Whitten from Templemore. Lane 6 is Sophia Quigley, she's from Ards. Port Barnacks, Ava Jones goes in lane number 7. Grace Cochrane from Lurgan, she will go in lane number 8. And at the top of your screen will be Louisa Humphreys in lane number 9, representing Larne. So 4 lengths of the pool, 1 of butterfly, 1 of backstroke, 1 of breaststroke, 1 of freestyle, and it looks like Grace Davison, if she repeats what she did in the heats yesterday evening, will come home victorious. Those swimmers in the water. Davison, as I mentioned, is the swimmer with the black hat in the first of the yellow lines, but she's been surpassed by Rosie Whitten from Templemore at the moment, and coming back at her also is Banbridge's Katie McFarlane.
Great start here from Rosie Whitten. She's going to get her hand on the wall first there, turning in 31.55. Great start. Interesting to see now how her backstroke breaststroke are. You can see Grace Davis, the Irish swimmer, has a higher stroke rate than her in backstroke.
And it's Davison now who has taken the lead, but only just. She's been challenged by Rosie Whitten. There were 6 seconds between these ladies in yesterday evening's heats, but the way things are going now, it doesn't certainly seem to be the case as we're progressing to the halfway mark. Grace Davison has a very, very slight lead over Rosie Whitten. That's the young lady from Ards versus the lady from Templemore. Excellent turn there from Grace Davison, which has actually given her a full body length lead. Now coming back at her, Banbridge's Katie McFarlane. She is in lane 3. So the 3 to watch here are Davison in 4, McFarlane in 3, and Whitten in 5.
Great swim here from the Grace Davis, and Grace Davis from Ards out ahead at the moment. Really good breaststroke leg here from her. Not really too much of a glide, but a good tempo, followed by the Banbridge swimmer Katie McFarlane, and in third place at the moment Rosie Whitten. It just shows that you can change from different positions throughout the medley.
And it shows the benefit of a good breaststroke leg also. So Grace Davison, we expected her to win it. It was tight about 50-60 metres ago. She has certainly turned that around. So it's Grace Davison. She's going to win this comfortably. The question is, can she get faster than that 2:29 that she recorded yesterday evening? Rosie Whitten has fallen back to third place, and second seems to be as if it's going to be taken back by McFarlane. But Davison coming in, and Davison finishing in a time of 2:29.12. Second place goes to lane number 3, Katie McFarlane from Banbridge, with the bronze medal going to Rosie Whitten of Templemore. So almost a second improvement there on the entry time. She'll be pleased with that.
She will, and she took it it's very, IM is very hard to know if you don't know the swimmer very well, but she had a very strong breaststroke leg, which gave her that I suppose confidence going in, that she knew if she was with them in the butterfly backstroke, she could pull away in the breaststroke and keep that distance in the front row.
So she obviously went to her strengths, and that was a very controlled performance, very mature performance from a 13-year-old. So 2:29.87 in terms of Irish records. I'm just looking them up here. They're up to your 17th birthday, so highly unlikely that she'd be anywhere near that. But Irish record is Grania Murphy's Irish record of 2:13.64. So give her a few years, she might be knocking on the door there. She's only 13 years of age. She can set it up to her 17th birthday, so we will see what happens there. Now we have the women's 200 metres freestyle. Your lineup: Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin, she's in lane 0. Beth Ann Firth from Ards goes in lane number 1. Lane 2 is Jessica Dickinson, Swim Wales. Amelia Kane from Ards, she's in 3. Julia Knox from Banbridge, fastest qualifier, she goes in lane number 4. Lane number 5 sees Meddy Harris from Swim Gwynedd Performance Club. Kilkenny's Naomi Trait, she goes in 6. Lane 7 is Drew McKenzie from the City of Glasgow Swim Team. 8 sees Aisling Rowlands from the Trojan Swim Club. And completing the lineup in lane number 9 is Sunday Wells. Anna Feenan makes the trip up from Cork, and they are our 10 swimmers in this 200 metre freestyle. Fastest qualifier, Julie Knox from Banbridge, the 17-year-old, the only swimmer to break the 2:07 mark, so she'll be expecting to do that, if not faster, in this B final. Swimmers in the water, and we've got start already out of lane number 1. That's Beth Ann Firth, but over in the central lanes we can see that there's very, very little to choose. Beth Ann Firth probably has a slight lead coming into the first 50 metres, breathing to her left and then to her right, so there's bilateral breathing, and it's Firth who goes over, actually in third place. Naomi Trait, the Kilkenny swimmer, she's had a great meet here so far this weekend. Very long, mature, gliding stroke, and you can see that. She's got the black hat there. She's dropped back a little bit at the moment. And we have a bit of a treat on our hands here. Lane number 4, Julia Knox from Banbridge. She's coming through very nicely. Take the lead, so she's going to push through. And it's Knox over in first place, 101.09. They'll be looking at about a 2:06 to try and win this event.
You see Bethany Firth really picking it up here on this third 50, so she's challenging Julia Knox, who actually got to the 100 metre mark first. But Bethany Firth, very experienced swimmer. We've seen her at Paralympics, we've seen her at a lot of competitions here. She's very experienced, and she knows that you need to work your third 50 to be able to bring it home.
And the ladies have worked that third 50, as Grania said, and Julia Knox has a very, very slight lead, just less than 1/10 of a second over the aforementioned Beth Ann Firth. But Beth Ann Firth, she is making a move now, going to the legs, and it looks like Firth is going to take this. Firth down the bottom of your screens here in lane number 1, but she's not going to have it all her own way. Julia Knox coming back, and up there in lane 5 is Maddie Harris from Swim Gwynedd Performance. Looks like Harris is going to come through all down to the touch, and it is Harris who takes it in a time of 2:06.03. Second, hard swimmer Amelia Kane in 2:06.29, with Jessica Dickinson from Wales finishing in third position in 2:06.72. Julia Knox, fastest qualifier from Brambridge, she managed to finish in fourth position, faster than her entry time, but not sufficient enough to come in the top 3. So we have now the 200 meters freestyle for women, the A final. 3 Irish swimmers in this. They populate lanes 1 to 3, and then we have a raft of international swimmers, including the Commonwealth Games champion Ailish Thomas, the 30-year-old from Swansea University. That is Victoria Catterson. She's from Ards, 19-year-old. Betsy Wizard now from Northampton Swimming Club. She will go in lane number 9. Logo girl Rachel Bethel. She is in lane number 1. She represents the Bangor Swim Club. Hannah Miley, the University of Aberdeen performance swimming team. A veteran of Olympic Games and Olympic finalists, having placed 6th, 5th and 4th in consecutive Olympic Games. That's Siobhan Marie O'Connor, the Olympic silver medalist. She goes in lane 6. Amy Wilmot, University of Stirling, part of our Scottish contingent here this weekend. She'll go in 3. Abby Wood from Loughborough, coached by Mel Marshall. She goes in 5. And Ailish Thomas, 20-year-old, the Commonwealth Games champion in the 400 individual medley. She will go in lane 4. Thomas is the only one of these competitors to break the 2-minute mark. However, there will be a number of fast ladies snapping at her heels. Abby Wood will be just above her in lane 5. Amy Wilmot from the University of Stirling. And don't forget both Siobhan Marie O'Connor in lane number 6 and Hannah Miley in lane number 7. Both Olympic finalists from the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. Four lengths of the pool. Somewhat of a tactical race depending on how they choose to swim it. We'll see how this unfolds. So, Thomas, the fastest qualifier, she's in the black cap in the centre of the field. And then when we go above her, you've got Abby Wood from Loughborough. Siobhan Marie O'Connor in the black cap, pushing there for first place. Hannah Miley, she's up in lane number 7. Irish swimmers to consider here. Victoria Catterson, she's down in lane 0 from Ards. Bangor's Rachel Bethel, she's in lane 1. And turning well there is Maria Godden from Kilkenny. She's in the mix. But back to the centre of the field, it seems to be that it's Ailish Thomas and Abby Wood. There's a little bit of a break between them, and third place Siobhan Marie O'Connor. So Ailish Thomas and Abby Wood. Thomas, the Commonwealth Games champion, and Wood is beginning to put a bit of a push on. Wood is taking a half a body length lead. O'Connor is part of the spearhead below her, and Wood coming off that turn, a butterfly kick, but what a turn by Ailish Thomas. She has half that lead.
Absolutely, and I think we can see Wilmot fighting back here now in the third 50, so it's between Amy Wilmot, Alice Thomas, Abby Wood, and then Siobhan Marie O'Connor just a little bit behind them.
And as we speak, Abby Wood is beginning to push, and she's pushing again now. Thomas did some significant damage on that last turn. Can she make up the difference? Is going to be very key. The second fastest that you ever are when you're swimming is off the wall. The fastest, of course, being from the dive, but it's Abby Wood. Abby Wood, the 21-year-old from Loughborough University. She has this race under control at the moment, but coming back at her is the Commonwealth Games champion Ailish Thomas. Also in lane 3, Amy Wilmot, and making a big charge, but it seems as if it's going to be Abby Wood. Abby Wood does indeed hang on for the victory here, going 1:59.96, faster than her entry time. Ailish Thomas finishes in second place, with Amy Wilmot finishing in third place. So a 1:59.96. Thomas did go faster in the heats yesterday evening, but was unable to replicate that. So again, your results: Abby Wood from Loughborough, Ailish Thomas from Swansea University in second place, with Amy Wilmot from the University of Stirling taking the bronze medal. We are now going to move on to some presentations, and we will be back with you for the men's 200 metre freestyle in a number of minutes. And watch out for Duncan Scott, the double Olympic silver medalist and the man who made some headlines out of the water, which we'll speak about when we come back. three happy young ladies picking up their medals. Great to see the 12 and 13-year-olds involved in the major finals. So they'll be in the warm-up pools, rubbing shoulders with Olympic champions, world record holder. So great experience for the younger swimmers, and shows that these people are just real and have to be extremely talented at something, and they can of course have aspirations to reach that level in the future. We now have the men's 200 meters freestyle B final. Lineup is as follows. In lane 0, Dennis Kilbride from New Ross. NCL Mallow, Caden McCarthy. He goes in lane number 1. Brendan Highlands, our Olympic hopeful in the 200 meter version of this in butterfly from NCD Tala. He goes in lane number 2. Daniel Whiffen from the city of Belfast. He's in 3. Lane 4, fastest qualifier. Archie Goodburn from Loughborough. Dean Power from UCD. He is in lane 5. Lane 6 is Michael Hewitt from Arns. Billy Pettit from Northampton Swim Club. He goes in 7. Zach Smith-Shelley from Pioneer goes in lane number 8. And completing the lineup is Cool Minds Danny Morgan. He is in lane number 9. So a B final. Interesting to see that Brendan is chosen to swim in that B final, Grania.
Brendan, we've seen him compete in the 200 freestyle over the last few competitions, and he's very strong at it. So I'm sure we are trying to quite a 4x200 freestyle relay to the Olympics. He's wanted to show his name in the hat to be a contender for a spot on that relay.
Indeed, so we will be looking to see what Brendan can do. He's up in lane number 2. Entry time 156.87. Largest qualifier is Goodburn. He's in the centre lane. That's a qualifying time of 154.94. But as these swimmers hit the water, you can see the swimmer out ahead, and that's the aforementioned Brendan Highland. Very unfortunate not to make the Olympic qualifying time. He will have to do it in April. Finished 10th in the world, yet not yet selected for the Olympic Games. He's gone out very fast there, 26.27 for a 200 meter swim, and he's over a body length ahead of the rest of the swimmers. He's really put down a marker here, and he's looking extremely strong in the water as we come up to the 100 meter turn.
Great start here from Brendan, and like I said, we've seen him do this event a few times over the last few months. He's getting stronger, he's getting more confident in it. He is a great 200 metres butterfly, so it's just transitioning that from butterfly to front crawl, but great start here for him.
And of course well able to use the butterfly kick off the wall to his advantage, but this is a very dominant performance that we're seeing from Highland. He recorded a time of 156.87 in the heats yesterday evening, so we'll see what he turns out here. So 156.87 is 124. He's going to absolutely smash that. I expect him to be at least a 153, 154. Still looking very comfortable, breathing to his right hand side. And this race is all about Highland. In the centre there, trying to come back, but won't reach him is Archie Goodburn, the 19-year-old from Loughborough, and up there in lane 8 having a good swim is Zach Smith-Shelley from Pioneer, but no doubt about the winner. This is Ireland's Brendan Highland, 153.58. He will be very, very pleased with that. A very consummately professional performance from Highland. He took it out from the start, and nobody was going to catch him. Daniel Whiffen from City of Belfast finished in second place, with Loughborough's Archie Goodburn taking the 3rd position. Highland will be very happy with that.
He will, and he should be. Like it's a drop down from yesterday. Standing up there, he kind of took the race out on his own. People try to come back at different stages, but Brendan is very, very strong underwater. He used that to his advantage, and it'll be interesting to see what he goes when he's rested now in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, and I spoke with him yesterday evening, and he had a couple of weeks of illness in around Christmas time, so still recovering from that. But incidentally, what he said is at the same period before period out from the World Championships last year. He swam the 200-meter butterfly and he was 1.5 seconds slower at that stage from where he is now. So that bodes well for him in terms of attaining that Olympic qualifying time.
Absolutely.
A final. That is Jack Race in lane 0. He's from NCL Kingdom. Harry Constantine, he is from Loughborough. He is in lane number 8. Jarvis Parkinson from Chelsea and Westminster Swimming. He will take place in lane number 1. Edward Mildred's big following here for him. He's at Northampton Swimming Club. He will be in lane 7. The local boy, Jordan Sloan from Bangor, 27-year-old. He's in lane 2 and he will be looking to be part of that relay team should it qualify. The second member of that would be hopefully Jack McMillan, again from Bangor. Mark Zarnick from University of Stirling. His father coaches at the National Centre in Limerick. Stephen Milne from Perth City Swim Club. And the class of the field, Duncan Scott. Scott is a 2-time Olympic silver medalist in last year's World Championships. He refused to stand on the podium with Sun Yang, who has had a, shall we say, to be kind, a very checkered history, both from a personal behavioural perspective and also from a drug perspective, and caused a lot of controversy. We think he was fined for it, but he stood up and that was his expression of anti-doping, and we have to only but commend him. He'll win this race and he'll win it very comfortably. 1:47.32 is what he swam in the heats. The Olympic qualifying time is 1:47.02, so he'll be looking to get underneath that. So Duncan Scott, fastest qualifier. He's in the black hat in the first of those yellow bounded lines. Just above him in the red hat is Stephen Milne. And also going out very hard is Jack McMillan, the local swimmer, the 20-year-old from Bangor. So watch for McMillan. He is in lane number 6. And also Jordan Sloan in lane number 2. That's the third lane from the bottom here in the white hat. But already Duncan Scott, fast of this field, is taking a full body length lead. Coming back at him on D though is Jordan Sloan. He's watching him. He's breathing to the right hand side and has him in his sights. But Duncan Scott, extremely smooth, long stroke, legs powering behind him, and he's dragging along lane number 6. 20-year-old Jack McMillan has decided to go with him. This is a great swim from McMillan.
Great swim from McMillan. It gives him the courage there to go out and get Duncan Scott. We've seen Jack come race. He's been at European Juniors, he's at World Championships. So to get him out and get out with Duncan Scott, it's great.
And McMillan is certainly not afraid of him, and if anything, he's reduced that lead somewhat. Duncan Scott coming in with 15 metres to go. He's 1:19.25, so we would expect a time of around 1:47. He's dragging McMillan with him now. McMillan is getting challenged by Stephen Milne, the swimmer from Perth City. So it's Milne trying to vie for that silver medal, but McMillan hanging on there. Duncan Scott is beginning to tire a bit. McMillan in second place, still looking very strong, and Milne coming in for the bronze medal, but it's Duncan Scott, 1:47.06, and 1:47.06 is 4/100ths of a second outside of the Olympic qualifying time. 1:48.28 from Jack McMillan. That is an excellent time from McMillan, and we're just checking the Irish records here, and the Irish record is a 1:47.41 by Jordan Sloan, so watch for that in 5 or 6 weeks time. Last night's time from Duncan Scott was the 5th fastest in the world this year. We expect him to up on that level performance. It's the fastest ever 200 freestyle ever seen on these shores, I believe. But what about Jordan Sloan? and Jack McMillan.
Well, great
what are your
swim there
thoughts
from
there?
Jack McMillan. He didn't hold back at all. He really gave it his all from the start. We saw that at his time, 1:48. He went last night 1:51, so 3 seconds drop off. That's what we want to see from the evening to this morning. Jordan Sloan went 1:50, was it 1:50 or 1:51?
Yeah, 1:51.
So again, faster than last night. Both athletes won't be rested, and I think Jack is that little bit younger than Jordan, so when Jordan is rested, we'll see a different swimmer.
Yeah, but there was no fear there. No fear whatsoever. You know, you're going up against one of the top guys in the world, and no fear.
You can't have fear in any race, whether it's you're racing yourself, if you're the fastest qualifier and you're getting out there, you know you're going to be racing yourself, or if it's going to be racing somebody else. So both very, very good swims, very good attitude coming into the race, and they both stood on the block confident, knowing that they were going to give it their all.
So he's a 1:48. You know him a lot better than I do in terms of taper. How does taper affect him? Are we going to see that 1 second drop in about 6 weeks' time?
I would like to think so. I think Jack is still very, very young. He's only 20. So it'll be interesting to see. He's working on with Paul Dennis. Both athletes actually train together, which is very interesting. And just to see how it happens. I was actually speaking to Jordan. He won't taper for another 2 or 3 weeks, which I'm sure Jack will be the same, even a little bit longer, because he doesn't need as long as Jordan would. But it's an exciting time for both athletes and for Irish swimming.
Yes, and potentially we could have two competitors in the 200 freestyle, which would be the first time in the history of Irish swimming that occurred. Now another junior final. We have the 200 metre freestyle for the 12 to 14 year old young gentleman. Bangor has Gene Smith in lane 0. Lane 1 is Ollie Brennan. He's from Coolmine. Edward Whittles from Chelsea and Westminster, one of 2 Chelsea and Westminster swimmer. He is in lane 2. Henry Gray, also from Chelsea, he's in 3. Stefan Krawacek from YDS Scotland, he's the fastest qualifier, he's in lane 4. Luke McGee, City of Sunderland, he is in lane 5. Lane 6 is Connor Fitzgerald from Splash World. Durban side ASC, Thomas Maskell, he goes in 7. 8 is Killian O'Loughlin Brophy, again from Coolmine. Of Coolmine swimmers is lane 9 in Dara Moran, up at the top of your screen. Fastest qualifier is Stefan Krawacek from YDS Scotland. He is not having it his own way. Conor Fitzgerald from Splash World is taking the lead here. He turns in a time of 58.30. And now coming back at them is lane number 4, Krawacek. Luke McGee is not out of it yet either, and look for lane number 2, Edward Whittles from Chelsea. He's making a run as we speak.
Great start here from the lane 4 swimmer Stefan Krapo from Scotland. Really going from strength to strength. I think it's anybody's game for second place at the moment, between lanes 2, 5 and 6, but I think we have our firm leader here at the moment.
And the leader indeed, as Grania said, is Stefan Krawacek. Stefan Krawacek from YDS Scotland, 14-year-old, very mature stroke for a 14-year-old. His leg kick is significantly higher than all of the other swimmers. The swimmer beside him on the lane line, Luke McGee from City of Sunderland, trying to get a drag. He looks like he may come into second place, but challenging him now and coming back very strongly is Edward Whittles from the Chelsea and Westminster. Krawacek takes it. Second place goes to McGee, and in third place is Edward Whittles in a time of 2:02.75. Winning time 1:59.32. That's over a 2-second improvement on the entry time that we saw yesterday evening. Always great to break the 2-minute barrier, so he will be absolutely thrilled with that. There is confirmation of your results. Krawacek the winner, McGee takes the silver, and Whittles taking the bronze medal. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are joining myself, Nick O'Hare, and Grania Murphy from the Aura Leisure Centre here in North County Down, just north of Belfast. An excellent facility, 2 metres deep all the way. 10-lane, 50-metre pool. Extremely modern facility and an excellent location that has everything that is required to hold a meet of this stature. We now have the women's 100 meters backstroke. That's 14 years and over. B final, your lineup is Ava Simpson in lane 0. She's from YDS Scotland. Her teammate, Rowan Saunders, goes in lane number 1. Lane 2 sees at Loans Rebecca Lowe. Lane 3 has Anna Green, again from YDS Scotland. Fastest qualifier is Madison Pevler. She goes in lane number 4 and is from Derwentsside ASC. Sligo has Danielle Farrell. She's in lane 5. Lane 6 is Eilish Shields from the City of Glasgow swim team. Cora Rooney goes in lane 7. She's from Enniskillen Lakelanders. City of Glasgow, their only participant in this event, has Drew McKenzie in lane 8. In Clonmel's Laura Killen, she goes in lane number 9. Very little between the top 4 of these ladies. In fact, there is only 0.27 of a second, so that's lane 3 to lanes number 6. So 100 meter backstroke, 2 lengths of the pool, B final. Fastest qualifier again is Madison Pevler from Derwentsside. She's the 15-year-old. She's in the black hat in the middle of your screen. She's been challenged there by lane number 5, Danielle Farrell, the Sligo swimmer, 17-year-old. Having a good run out at the moment is the YDS Scotland swimmer Ava Simpson, who is down in lane number 0. But taking the turn here is the fastest qualifier, Madison Pevler. She turns in 31.22.
Great start here, and really good head position there for Madison Peverly, and really good stroke, really comfortable in herself, but there is people closing in on her now.
So it's Pevler. She's got 25 metres to go. She has a slight lead. She's been getting a challenge now from the lady just above her, who's Danielle Farrell. So Farrell is coming back at her. Farrell getting very, very close, and also coming through is Anna Green from YDS Scotland. So 3 of these ladies. It looks like Green is going to take this first through in the last 10 metres, and it is. Green takes it in a time of 1:05.20. Pevler hangs on for second place with the bronze medal, or the third position, going to YDS Scotland's Ava Simpson, who was down in lane number 0. So Green came through very, very fast in the end. She was lying in about 4th position with about 15 metres to go, and managed to get her timing correct and get the win. We now have the A final of this event. That's the women's 100 meter backstroke. The Olympic qualifying time for the ladies 100 meters backstroke is 1:0.25. Maria Godden is the fastest Irish qualifier. She is in at a 1:02.91, so she'll need an almost 3-second improvement if she is going to threaten that in any way. Regardless, that would make no difference. She has to do it in 5 weeks' time at our Olympic trials. We see coming over here is Rebecca Reid, 19-year-old from Ards. Katie Shanahan, City of Glasgow swim team. She will go in lane 1. And there, in fact, is Katie Shanahan. She's been busy this week with many, many swims. Ellie Turner from Perth City Swimming Club. She's 17 years of age. She'll go in lane 7. Oldest lady in this race, Harriet West. She's 23 years of age. She's from Loughborough University. Local girl, Danielle Hill, 21-year-old from Larne. She's in lane 6. Maddie Harris, we've seen her already this morning. She goes again. She's from Swim Gwynedd Performance Club. She's in lane 3. Maria Godden just went through her picture there. She's the 18-year-old from Kilkenny. Kilkenny having a very good meet here this weekend with a lot of finalists. And Kathleen Dawson, University of Stirling. She's the class of the field. Her time is fast in Olympic qualifying time. She's a 23-year-old from Scotland. Dawson will be expecting to go even faster. Her time is 59.98. As I said, it's 3 seconds faster than Godden's. So essentially she could end up swimming a race effectively on her own. And Godden, of course, will try to benefit from that in terms of trying to up her performance to try and minimise the margin of victory. So this is 2 lengths of the pool. The ladies are allowed to go 15 metres underneath the water, and that's denoted by those red marks, which are out at quite a distance from the wall. So here we go, 100 metres backstroke for women. All safely away, and a great start there in lane number 4 already. So that's lane number 4, Kathleen Dawson. Danielle Hill, though, has had the best start of all, and she is leading at this stage. She's got a nice lead. She's head and shoulders above Hill up there in lane number 6. Kathleen Dawson, University of Stirling. She's beginning to come through now. She's in lane number 4. Getting left behind a bit is Maria Godden from Kilkenny. She needs to get a move on. But moving over first is Danielle Hill, 29.27.
Great start here from Danielle Hill. Really, really controlled. We did see, I think, Kathleen Dawson maybe slightly ahead. She did stay underwater a little bit more off the wall.
And Dawson has used that turn to her benefit, and it's now Dawson. Dawson has a slight lead on Danielle Hill, who is 2 lanes away from her. Also going well and probably going to finish in the bronze medal is Maria Godden of Kilkenny, but no doubt about the winner as we're coming in here, and in a time of 60.28 is Kathleen Dawson. Danielle Hill 60.90, and in third place goes to Medi Harris in 102.82, but that time of 60.90 is a new Irish senior record for Danielle Hill, and more importantly is only 0.65 of a second off the Olympic qualifying time.
Great swim there for Danielle. Like, to come 6 weeks out before the trials, to come 60.9 Irish senior record, very, very close to our Olympic qualifying time. It's an exciting time for her. It's just now about going back and holding her own before Irish trials and preparing as well as best as she can.
An exciting time for her. She set that record on the best day of the year, which is the 27th of July. That was my birthday last year. Good timing, Danielle. Hats off to you on that. But she set that record, obviously, at the World Championships of 101.08. She's after taking another almost 2/10 of a second. She needs to find 0.65 of a second, and based on that swim, based on her performance,
I think she done that in Ireland. I think she done it at Irish
it was the Irish Nationals,
yeah.
was it? Okay. But based on that performance, 0.65 of a second, she's not rested. She's got 6 weeks to go. Surely that's well within her sights, and surely she can get underneath a minute. I think, looking at that, 1 minute 0.25, she should be aiming for a 59 points.
Absolutely, and I think if you saw, she went out really strong in the first 50. She did kind of fade away, just if you compare her to Kathleen Dawson in the last 10-15 metres. So when she is rested, she will be staying up there and being able to power through.
She'll have that power. So presentations are going to be taking place, and we will be back to you very shortly with the men's 100 metre backstroke, which will be featuring Luke Greenback, World University Games champion. We'll have the junior 200 metre breaststroke for the ladies. The ladies 200 metre breaststroke, which of course will feature Molly Renshaw, our own Niamh Coyne, and of course Mona McShardy, World Junior Champion, and Hannah Miley, the lady who's placed 6th, 5th and 4th in the last 3 Olympic Games. So we will be back to you very shortly with those events. welcome back to the Ora Leisure Centre here in Bangor, North County Down for our second final session of the 2020 Dave McCullagh International Meet. Going straight into the 100 metres backstroke, the B final. Your lineup is Needle Irwin. He's 17-year-old from Dolphin, goes in lane 0. Lane 1 is Kyle Pate, University of Stirling. Paddy Johnson from Ards, local boy, he goes in lane 2. He's been very busy here this weekend. Tony Joy, Tread Oliver, we've seen him already this morning, University of Stirling. He is in lane 3. Lane 4 is Lewis Maxwell from Derwent Side rather. He's the fastest qualifier in a time of 58.95. Larne has Lorcan Gurley. He goes in lane number 5. Lane 6, Harry Constantine, Loughborough Swimming Club. Jack Muncie goes in lane 7. He's from Perth City Swim Club. Shark have Callum Ashton going in lane 8, and completing our lineup is Grant Henderson. He's from the City of Glasgow Swim Team. Lewis Maxwell, the Derwent Side swimmer, lane 4, 17-year-old. The youngest in this event is the fastest qualifier, and the fastest qualifier by a significant margin of 0.6 of a second. Only 3 swimmers under a minute. Let's see how many can do it this time round. Very pronounced starting style from Maxwell, got his whole body out of the water, but he hasn't had the best of the starts going there to the aforementioned Paddy Johnson. He is in lane 2, the yard swimmer, but now coming through, it's pretty flat, but Paddy Johnson in lane number 2 seems to be taking this by the scruff of the neck. The other swimmers would see them as he turns, but Johnson, slight surprise here, taking the lead.
Lorcan Gurley there turned in first place from Larne, followed closely by Paddy Johnson. Paddy Johnson, I think, has a very good third 25, but out there in lane 9 also is one to watch, Grant Henderson.
And Henderson doing well, but it looks like Johnson is taking a steal there, as Grania said, the underwater lead, and he seems to be going away from everybody, and it's Johnson coming in, 5 metres to go, spot the finish, and it's Johnson who wins it in 57.69, almost a 2-second improvement on his entry time. Lewis Maxwell from Derwent Side, he finishes in second place in a time of 58.63, and Harris Constantine from Loughborough Swim Club breaks the minute and finishes in third place in 58.79. So 57-second swim from Paddy Johnson, did a 1-minute swim yesterday evening. That's a 3-second improvement. He'll be very pleased with that. We now have the A final of this event, featuring Luke Greenback from Loughborough University, Joe Litchfield, and of course Lawrence Conor Ferguson, and not to mention the star of Irish swimming from a male perspective over the last number of years is Shane Ryan. We'll see him shortly. Conor Massey there in lane number 9. He's from City of Glasgow Swim Team. His teammate, as we see walk through, is Mark Ford with the hood up. He goes in lane 0. From the Leash Marlins, Sean Scallon, 18 years of age. University of Stirling swimmer Nick Pyle, he goes in lane 1. His teammate, we're going to see him shortly, there he is, Perry Gardner, will be in lane number 7. One of only 3 Irish swimmers in this event, Rory McAvoy from Ennis, he goes in lanes 2. There's the World University Games champion, Shane Ryan. He goes in lane number 6. Joe Litchfield goes in lane 3. Conor Ferguson, Northern Ireland swimmer, 21 years of age, he goes in 5. And here's the fastest qualifier, Luke Greenbank. He's a qualifying time of 51.11, only 0.2 of a second separates him and Ferguson. But Shane Ryan totally slowed down yesterday evening in the heats. He has an entry time of 56.10. The Irish record stands at 53.73. And the Olympic qualifying time is 53.85. So Ryan should be using this to see where he's at in terms of his preparation. So if Shane Ryan goes at 56 or higher, I would be extremely surprised. Look at him to try and get down into the 54s, as will Greenbank and Ferguson. 2 lengths to the pool. On their back. Turn is going to be crucial, as will the start, which we will now see. So it seems to be a bit of a technical issue happening over in lane number 7. These, of course, are new-ish starting apparatus. Many years ago there was nothing being placed on the wall, and as such the swimmers had to do their best to try and get a grip on the wall. Now there is a little wedge that is being placed there. Shane has gotten out of the water. He doesn't seem too happy. How would this kind of delay affect those swimmers now, Bronwyn?
I think it's hard to know, because especially when you've jumped in the water, you've already got wet. You want to start going straight away so that you don't get cold. So I'm actually quite surprised that Shane has jumped out of the water, because coming out of the water will mean that you're going to get cold faster.
Yes.
So what we have seen, he has stood up and started walking around, whereas a lot of the other swimmers are staying in the water, jumping up and down, keeping themselves moving. But if it's definitely harder for a backstroke start, as for if you're starting on the blocks. A little bit different. You can step down, put on clothes, get warm, keep moving. It's just more the waiting game and waiting when are we going to start. So yeah, interesting to see different people's ideas of how to stay warm.
Of course, and it's quite distracting as well, but seems that we have everything in order. The starter blows his whistle to call the swimmers to attention. And hopefully we will get away this time. Shane Ryan, the big Irish hope, the World University Game champion, he's up in lane 6. Below him, Conor Ferguson, lane 5, and then Luke Greenback, the fastest qualifier, he's in 4. But already it is Ryan who is leading at the very top of our shot there. That's Shane Ryan, the 26-year-old, grew up in Pennsylvania, has been swimming for Ireland for the last 6-7 years, and it's Ryan who's turning over, but he's not having it all his own way. Conor Ferguson, the 21-year-old, is challenging him.
Great start there from Shane, getting the touching, and he worked that underwater work and is ever so slightly out ahead.
And it's Ryan, but he is being pegged back at the moment by Greenback. So it's Greenbank, it's Ryan, and it's Ferguson. It looks like it's going to be between Greenback and Ryan. Greenback coming back very, very strongly, coming down to the Dutch here. Is it Greenback or is it Ryan? And it's Greenback that gets it in a time of 55.02. Shane Ryan, 55.18. And the third position goes to Conor Ferguson from Larne in a time of 55.50. Shane looked as if he struggled a bit in the last 20 metres though.
He did, and it was actually quite obvious there that you could see Conor Ferguson just beside him. He was actually able to gain a bit of ground there. So again, comes back to, he will be happy with 55. He went 56 yesterday. We did see him slow down a little bit, but I'm not sure we saw him slow down there this morning. I think it was more a bit of fatigue.
And he is a big guy. He stands at about 6'5", 6'6", and it's not often somebody makes me feel small, but anytime I'm beside him, that is the case. So there's a lot of muscle there. He's going to need a lot of rest in order for that to, give him the best opportunity to get the benefit from all of the training. So we now have another junior event. It is the ladies, 12 to 13 years of age, 200-meter breaststroke. So this is an A final. All swimmers aged 13 years. Line-up is in lane 0, Olivia Miscali from Banbridge. Lee Burns goes in lane 1. She's from Leander. Longfoot's Rihanna McCullagh. She's in lane 2. Darcy Walker in lane 3. She's from Banbridge. Ards, their only representative in the fastest qualifier, Grace Davison. She's in lane 4. Lane 5 is Ava Jones from Portmarnock. Bangor The local girl, Hannah McMaster, is in lane 6. Lane 7 sees Lucy Martin. She's from the Cool Mine Club in Dublin 15. East Cavan has Kate Kieran's. She goes in lane 8. And Trojan has Ellie Campbell. She's at the top of your screen in lane number 9. And we seem to have another slight issue with the starting system. That's 2 in a row. You can see the gentleman walking over is Ray Kendall, who's former president of LEN. So it's led the European Federation and was president of the technical committee. So a couple of decades of experience in that. He's since retired, but of course still willing to provide some of his wisdom to barrier swimming, which is great to see. So another slight little issue. So these ladies, big scene for them. It'll be interesting to see how they react to this slight delay. So our issue with the starting system has been resolved, and all swimmers are in the water. Grace Davison, she's the swimmer from Ards. She is in the centre with the dark blue hat. She has an entry time that is 4 seconds faster than the closest competitor, which is Ava Jones, the young lady in the yellow hat. She's from Portmarnock. These are the only 2 ladies, in addition to, I should have correct myself, Darcy Walker rather, from Banbridge in the red hat, that managed to eclipse the 3-minute mark, but we've got 50 metres gone, and already the clear favourite, Grace Davison from Ards, has turned in a time at 38.27. Ava Jones from Portmarnock, she's turned in 38.52, and a beautiful looking stroke there in lane number 3 from the Banbridge swimmer Darcy Walker. She's in 3rd position at present.
Great swim there from Grace Davis. Really nice stroke, really long stroke, and getting that glide in with a great kick to push her forward.
So Grace Davison, the Ards swimmer. Ards, of course, the club where Andrew Bree learned his trade. Andrew, of course, was the Olympic semi-finalist, placed 12 in Beijing, the first ever male semi-finalist. There have only been 2 at Olympic Games from an Irish perspective, so he's the man who set the trend there. But getting back to what's happening in the water, Grace Davison, she's taking control of this race, and it's really between herself and Ava Jones. Ava Jones is the youngest competitor in this race at 12 years of age. Both ladies driving those legs back, extending through with the arms, trying to make their body as narrow as possible. The narrower you are when you're in the water, the less resistant you are, and therefore the maximum your speeds can be. Interesting battle happening for the bronze medal. That's between Rhiannon McCormack, she's in lane 2, and Darcy Walker of Branbridge in the red hat. So those 2 ladies are fighting away, but at the top of the affair it is Grace Davison. She's the favourite. She has an entry time of 2:52.84, so we'll be looking for that. Silver medal seems to be sewn up also by Ava Jones, but she coming back at her in lane number 3 is Darcy Walker. She is in the red hat. Also challenging that is Longford's Rhiannon McCormack. Good battle developing here, but no doubt at the head of affairs who is going to be the winner, and that is 13-year-old Grace Davison from Ards. Entry time at 2:52. She's going to eclipse that. Winning time at 2:48.4767. That is a very, very impressive swim to improve on your time by 4 seconds between heats and finals, and to win that final by 3 seconds. Very impressive. Ava Jones takes the bronze medal. She's the youngest, silver medal. She's the youngest in this event, with Darcy Walker coming home to take the bronze medal out of lane 3 in 3rd position. Impressive swimming to drop 3 seconds. Not easy to do, Grania.
It's not, and especially like we've talked about coming back in the morning, but she really paced it nice and well. She went out really strong, but she had confidence. A really nice glide in her stroke, which meant that she was able to pick up her stroke rate throughout the race.
Yes, and they are the stars of the future. Good for them to be in, rubbing shoulders with the senior swimmers. Speaking of which, we now have the B final of the women's 200 metre breaststroke. Your lineup, the oldest swimmer in the race, Lisa Cook. She goes in lane 0. She's 23. She's from the Aer Lingus Swim Club. Chelsea and Westminster Swimming have Josephine Serminski. She's in lane 1. Lane 2 sees Aoife Doran of Aer Lingus. Lisburn City has Ava McNamara. She's in lane number 3. Bangor's Amelia Urry. She goes in lane 4. Following in the shadows are the footsteps of her mother. Charlene Brown was the Irish record holder back in the 90s for the 200 metre breaststroke. So good to see her daughter competing at this level. Taylor O'Rourke goes in lane 5. She's from Northampton. All the way from Dolphin and Cork is Cara McCormack. She goes in lane number 6. Lane 7 has Arwen Stevens from Swim Wells, the 15-year-old. Rowan Saunders is one of 2 YDS Scotland swimmers in this race. She goes in lane 8. And the second of those swimmers is Amy Watson. She is the 16-year-old in lane number 9. Not very much between the top 4 or 5 swimmers here, less than a second. Amelia Urry from Bangor. She is the 16-year-old. Her mother was an international breaststroke swimmer and very unfortunate not to be selected for the Olympic Games in 1992 when she won the British trials. She was out swimming them and beat everybody on the British team that went to Olympic Games, yet was not selected. But leading the way here is Ava McNamara from Lisburn City. She's the 15-year-old. She's followed closely by Amelia Urry and Taylor O'Rourke.
Good start there from Ava McNamara from Lisburn, 36 flat. Nice and controlled, followed by, in second place, lane 9, Amy Watson. A really good stroke here from Ava McNamara. Really, really long glide.
And Watson is just at the very top of your picture there. She's beginning to fade, but stretching ahead is Ava McNamara, lady in the red hat, driving out. Remember, this is a 4-length race, so some swimmers are stronger over the first 100 metres, over the first 2 lengths. Others like to build into it and come back. And as I speak about building into it, the lane 4 swimmer, Amelia Urry, turned there in 3rd position, seems to be coming back. Good turn there, and she's up into 2nd place, but still in the lead is Ava McNamara from Lisburn City. Amelia Urry now challenging for the 2nd position. In 3rd position, Taylor O'Rourke, Northampton Swimming Club. Cara McCormack, she needs to get a move on, but up there in lane number 7 is Arwen Stevens from Swim Wales. So it is McNamara, and McNamara has led from the start. She's got a 2-metre lead. She's going to come in here and she's going to turn now in a 2:01.21. 2nd place, Amy Watson. She was up out of lane 9. In 3rd position is Taylor O'Rourke. She is motoring along nicely, but as we were, Ava McNamara, Lisburn City, she's in lane 3. Urry seems to be out of it, the fastest qualifier in lane 4. Still going strong. Up there in lane number 9 is Amy Watson. So it's Watson who seems to have taken the lead, smoking everybody from the outside. It's going to be Watson. It's going to be Watson and McNamara. Also coming through in lane number 5 is O'Rourke. Watson, McNamara and O'Rourke, but Watson takes it, followed by O'Rourke with long-term lead, and McNamara taking the 3rd position in a time at 2:45. So Watson wins it 2:44.06. That's 5.5 seconds faster than our heat time yesterday evening.
Great improvement there from Watson and from an outside lane, so she'll be very, very pleased with that.
So we've had the B final. We are now awaiting the A final swimmers. We have 5 Irish swimmers, 5 international swimmers. Scotland Youth, Saskia Wade, she will go in lane number 9. Zoe Thompson from Ards, she is in lane 0. Alwyn Cook from NCL Limerick, she goes in lane number 8. Enniskillen has Ellie McCartney representing them. She's 15 years of age. She'll go in lane 1. Loughborough, part of the very strong Loughborough contingent, Zara Vassie, she goes in lane 7. Ellen Walsh, we've seen her already tonight from Temple Oaks, she's in 2. Hannah Miley, the veteran of Olympic Games, Olympic Finals from the University of Aberdeen, she's in 6. World's Junior Champion Mona McSharry, she goes in lane number 3. Eve Coyne from NCD Tala, she's in 5. And the fastest qualifier is Molly Renshaw. Renshaw is 5 seconds faster than anybody else in this race from a heats perspective. The Olympic qualifying time for this event is 2:25.52. Renshaw from Loughborough is at a 2:27. Obviously still in a heavy work phase, so to get so close is impressive over a 200 metre distance. But she's not going to have it all her own way. Mona McSharry, very experienced, albeit 20 years of age, will have paced that 200 metres yesterday, as will have Niamh Coyne. So both of these ladies are going to put Renshaw under some significant pressure, as will Hannah Miley in lane 6. And that looks to me like a false start from Ellen Walsh. We're going to see whether she is disqualified. The reaction time is 0.47. I've never seen a reaction time like that before. She was off like an absolute rocket. So we'll see what happens at the end of the race. But there was a big awe from the stands here, and I think they are of the same opinion as myself, but we will see what happens. But back to the action in the water. Molly Renshaw from Loughborough, she's stretching out. As I mentioned, she is 2 seconds ahead of any other swimmer in this race, and we would expect her to take this race to them. Niamh Coyne is up there in lane number 5. She's dropped back a bit, but going well is Mona McSharry, building through it nicely. Also swimming very well in lane 3 is Mona McSharry. She is now challenging Molly Renshaw. Niamh Coyne has dropped back. Hannah Miley up there, University of Aberdeen swim, had U of A. I didn't confuse it for the University of Arizona earlier on the week, so my apologies to everybody from Aberdeen for that, but she's making her way into 3rd place. 1:10.49, so Molly Renshaw, the 24-year-old from Loughborough, she put in a 2:27 earlier on in the week, as in last night, but she's not having it her own way. Mona McSharry is coming back at her.
Great swim here from Molly Renshaw and Mona. Mona is really sticking it with Molly. She went out with her. She's really working this 3rd 50 and an exciting 4th 50.
And Mona McSharry is coming back. McSharry driving those legs. She's narrowed the lead down. Grania's checking what this Irish record is at, and we're going to see how close she can get to this, showing the versatility. She's a good 50-metre breaststroker. She's won the medal at the recent European Championships. We know she's a world champion over the 100, and she's now extending to the 200. But Renshaw, the more experienced Renshaw, 24 years of age from Loughborough. Renshaw is pushing ahead, but McSharry is not letting her go. It's Renshaw in lane number 4, McSharry in lane number 3, and Renshaw driving through those legs, gliding, getting every last inch out of it. And it's Renshaw coming in with 5 metres to go. Renshaw should win this, and Renshaw does win this in a time of 2:26.79. Mona McSharry comes in 2nd place in 2:28.22, with Hannah Miley coming in 3rd place in a time of 2:31.77.
Great swim there from especially Molly, 2:26.7, and then Mona we have 2:28.2. Olympic qualifying 2:25, well within. Molly will do it in a couple of weeks' time. Can't rule it out for Mona either. Like, that was a very, very strong swim for her. Like, we've seen her very, very fast on 50 and 100.
And there's just confirmation that Aaron Walsh was disqualified. But you mentioned about Mona. Now, we know that she's a great 50 breaststroker. We know that she's pedigree over the 100 being world champion. She's got now what she's shown there. She's got the stamina. So to take it back over the last 50, especially in the 100, that's going to be a great benefit to her going forward.
Absolutely, and we've already seen her in the water this morning as well for another final. So when she is rested, ready to go, she's backing up all her swims. It's absolutely amazing, exciting times. Like 2:28, like 200 breaststroke is not an easy event. I know no event is easy, but she'll have to be very, very pleased with that.
Okay, and on that note, we have two presentations that are about to take place, and we will be back to you then with the men's 200 meters breaststroke. You'll then be joined, Braun, you will then be joined by John Rudd, who is the High Performance Director of Irish Swimming. So he will provide us with an insight as to what's going on at present, what the plans are for the future, and his expectations for the Irish team for the Olympic Games, which will happen in July of this year. medalists for the 100 metres backstroke. Luke Greenback getting it, Shane Ryan in second place, and Young Ferguson in third place. Now we have the men's 200 metres breaststroke, which will feature none other, supposed to feature the Olympic champion Adam Peaty, but he seems to have withdrawn. He qualified yesterday evening, so he's withdrawn, but James Willoughby will be in there, as will Ross Murdoch, and of course Owen Corby, the Limerick swimmer who's been doing very, very well in breaststroke. But first we have our B final. Lane 0 sees Sean Kenny from Temple Oak. 1 is Paul Cox, he's from Lisbon City. Derwent side has Jay Manners in lane 2. Larne has Ben Woodside in lane 3. Fastest qualifier is Rory Williams. He's from Swim Wales and he goes in lane 4. Sunday's Well has Andrew Feenan in lane 5. Lane 6 is Liam Murphy from YDS Scotland. Derwent side has their second swimmer in the form of Joel O'Halloran. He goes in lane 7. Lane 8 has Max Hagan from the City of Glasgow swim team. And completing our lineup is Samuel Smith, the 15-year-old from the Northampton Swimming Club, and he will be up in lane number 9. Fastest qualifier, Rodri Williams, part of the big Swim Wales contingent. He's 18 years of age. He set a time at 2:23.73. There are 4 swimmers under 2:25, so we expect it to be a close enough affair, especially down that last 50 metres. All swimmers safely away. The final men's 200 breaststroke. Your lineup again: Kenny from Temple Oak, he's in 1. Cox from Lisburn in 1. Manners from Derwent side in 2. Woodside from Larne in 3. Fastest qualifier, Williams from Swim Wales, he's in 4. Feenan from Sunday's Well, he goes in 5. 6 sees Murphy from Scotland, he's in lane 6. O'Halloran from Derwent side, the second Derwent side swimmer, he's in 7. Max Hagan from City of Glasgow, he goes in 8. And up the top of your screen is Samuel Smith. He is in lane 9 and he is from Northampton Swim Club. But as we get back to the action, it is lanes number 5. Andrew Feenan, the Sunday Wells swimmer, who has taken the early lead here. Just below him in lane number 5 is the Swim Wales swimmer Rory Williams. And up top in lane number 8 is Max Hagan. He's dripped back a bit, but lane number 7, Joel O'Halloran, Derwent side, but still holding on to the lead, Rodri Williams. He is in lane 4. He's chasing down the leader, Andrew Feenan. They turn now with 100 metres to go.
Great start there from Andrew Feenan. Really, really long stroke, but he is being chased down by the lane 3 swimmer, the lane 4 swimmer, Rory Williams. Both swimmers really strong. Maybe Feenan went out that little bit too fast, and Williams has that little bit extra speed now to give into it.
And coming through at the top of your picture is also lane 7. That's Joel O'Halloran from the Derwent side. He's trying to make a challenge, but still in the lead is Rory Williams. He is the Welsh swimmer. Swim Wales in lane 4. He's turned in 1:45.37. Just behind him is Sunday's Wells, Andrew Feenan. Turned in 1:46, but coming through is Rory Williams, driving ahead there. Feenan has suffered for that early fast pace, and coming through for the second place is Joel O'Halloran up in lane 7. Also making a good stab of it is Max Hagan over there in lane 8, so it looks like it is going to be Williams who will take the B final. Second place will go to O'Halloran, and up there in lane number 8, the third place goes to Max Hagan of the City of Glasgow swim team. A time of 2:20.91. That's 3 seconds faster than the qualifying times from yesterday evening. So swimmers now swimming faster in the morning than they did in the evening time, which is exactly what this meet is supposed to do.
Absolutely, and I think it's taken nearly till this morning till we've properly seen that. Yesterday was getting into a routine. Today now we've seen swimmers swimming faster than last night, and I think tomorrow we'll see even more of that. So It is in preparation for the Olympics, but it's great to see that swimmers are standing up in the morning and swimming fast.
Yes, I'm going to see whether we can get somebody under the 210 mark. 210.16, as Andrew said, was the great Mike Barrowman's time from the Olympic Games in 1992. Andrew seems to have some sort of affinity for it. Now the qualifying time for this Olympic Games 20 years on is 210.35. So it shows how standards have moved on over the last number of years. So the first of our competitors is Liam Doyle from NCL Dolphin. Harvey Freeman now from Northampton Swimming Club. He's the youngest in this event at 16 years of age. Oisin Cook now, NCL Limerick. Limerick have had a good showing here so far this week, and hopefully that will continue through the likes of Oisin Cook. Craig Benson there, he's from the University of Stirling. He will be in lane number 1. Next we have one of 4 Loughborough swimmers. That's David Murphy. He's in lane 7, 22-year-olds. His teammate Gregory Butler, he's next to come out. He is in lane 2. Edward Baxter, another member of the Loughborough swim team. He goes in lane number 6. Owen Corby from NCL Limerick. He's been swimming extremely well. We're just awaiting his arrival. And he gets a huge cheer from the local crowd here. 18-year-old from Limerick are going 3. Ross Murdoch from the University of Stirling, he goes in 5, an Olympian in his own right. And James Wilby, another Olympian, he goes in lane number 4. So Wilby is the fastest qualifier in a 2:11.98. Owen Corby, however, 2:15.82. The Olympic qualifying time, as I said, is 2:10.35. So Corby is going to try and challenge that over the next 5 or 6 weeks. We'd be expecting him to see him improve significantly on that 2:15, maybe get down to a 2:13. But certainly the name to watch here, James Wilby, 27-year-old, the eldest in this race from Loughborough Swimming Club. He's in lane 4. Race there in the black hat, black goggles, and black tops. And away first time. Freeman from Northampton, he's in 0. Benson is in lane 1, University of Stirling. Butler from Loughborough, he takes 2. In 3 is the Irish hope, Owen Corby from Limerick. Wilby, he's in lane 4 from Loughborough. Ross Murdoch from University of Stirling is in 5. Baxter from Loughborough, he's in 6. 7 sees David Murphy, also from Loughborough. Limerick has its second competitor in Oisin Cook. He's in 8 with Liam Doyle from NCL Dolphin in lane number 9. But already taking it out is James Wilby. He's out at 29.48, just behind him Ross Murdoch, and followed then over a second behind is Owen Corby. Corby needs to get a move on here, but James Wilby seems to be the class of the field so far. Long, strong, reaching stroke, driving through, much lower stroke rate than what we've seen so far. So that's Ross Murdoch, James Wilby, and above them is Edward Baxter. Owen Corby here closest to us is in lane 3 in the silver hat, and he turns in a 104, 102.77 for James Wilby, and he's being chased down now by Ross Murdoch.
Absolutely, I think James Wilby now will just really go for it in this third 50. I think Owen Corby is one to watch. Will he have enough time to get up with Ross Murdoch? I'm not sure, but he has definitely picked up his rate.
So his rate has gone up, but it's still, as you were, at the very top of the field. James Wilby, he's now been chased down by Ross Murdoch, and Ross Murdoch is encroaching on his lead. Fighting it out for third position at the moment is Edward Baxter from Loughborough, 22-year-old with a tan, up there in lane 6, just back from a 5-week training camp in Australia. And Ireland's Owen Corby in third position. But at the head of the field, James Wilby from Loughborough, increasing his stroke rate, driving that forward much faster than he was over the first 100 metre. Ross Murdoch in lane 5 and coming through like a steam train. In lane 3 is Owen Corby. No doubt about who's going to win this. It is James Wilby from Loughborough. He's followed home by Ross Murdoch, and in third position, Owen Corby.
Good swim there from James Wilby, 2:11, 2:13 for Ross Murdoch, and 2:14 for Owen Corby.
2:14 for Owen Corby, so that is an improvement by over a second on his heat time. He'll be pleased with that. So 2 excellent swims there from the 2 UK swimmers. That's James Wilby, Ross Murdoch, and not to forget Owen Corby. He was getting a bit of a challenge from Ed Baxter. There's a result. He was being challenged with 50 metres to go, but managed to overcome that. So that completes the A final for the 200 metre breaststroke. Next up is the boys, 200 metre backstroke, followed by the women 200 metre butterfly. That's 12 to 13 years of age. John Rudd will then be joining Grania to discuss all things high performance, and I am going to take my leave, and I will speak to all of you at 4:30 this afternoon for our heat session.
So we're going to welcome the boys 12 to 14, 200 metres backstroke in lane 0. Here we can see our boys coming through. In lane 0 from Sligo we've Dominic French, 1 from Chelsea, Henry Gray, 2 from City of Sunderland, Luke McGee, 3 from Derwenside, Thomas Maskell, 4 from Chelsea, Edward Whistles, 5 from YDS Scotland, Stefan Crowe, 6 from Bluefin, John Short, 7 from Portmarnock, David Powell, 8 from Banbridge, Liam O'Maher, and 9 from the NAC, Evan Simpson. We just have our swimmers starting in the water. Again, the swimmers in the water in lane 0, Dominic French, 1 Henry Gray, 2 Luke McGee, 3 Thomas Maskell, 4 Edward Whistles, 5 Stefan Crowe, 6 John Short, 7 David Powell, 8 Liam Mahers, and 9 Evan Simpson. So a good start here for the lane 3 swimmer, which is Thomas Maskell, ever so slightly out ahead, followed closely by lane 4 Edward Whistles, and lane 3. So there it is in first place, turning in lane 3, Thomas Maskell in 32.12, second Edward Whistles 32.23, and third Luke McGee out in lane 2. Great stroke here from the lane 3 swimmer, which is Thomas Maskell, nice and controlled. Really good head position by both lane 3 and 4. The swimmer in lane 4, Edward Whistles, is coming back on Thomas Maskell. Thomas Maskell just ever so slightly, and is going to come put his feet on the wall at the 100 metre mark first, turning in 106.97, followed by Edward Whistles 107.42 and Luke McGee 109.05. Thomas Maskell pulling half a body length ahead now. Really controlled, really good head position and rotation in the backstroke. Whereas in lane 4, Edward Whistles' head is moving a little bit ever so slightly. Coming into the 150 metre mark, we have in first place Thomas Maskell 142.24, Edward Whistle 143.25, and Stefan Crowe 144.60. Maskell trying to hold his own here, but he is followed closely by Edward Whistle and Stefan out in lane 4 and 5. Thomas Maskell is still out ahead. Second and third place they're battling there now between Edward Whistle and Stefan. And the winner is going to be Thomas Maskell, touching in 2:16.79, followed by Edward Whistle 2:18.87 and Stefan Crow 2:20.19. Really good swim there from lane 3. Thomas Maskell, we did see a battle there for second and third place between Edward Whistle and Stefan Crow, but Edward Whistle just spotted the wall a little bit better from the flags in and got his hand on the wall first. Moving on, we're going to be moving on to the women's 12 to 13 200 meters butterfly final. Here we have our age group finalists just coming through. In lane 2 from Trojan, Sophie Golden. 3 also from Trojan, Hannah Poynton. 4 from Ards, Sophia Quigley. 5 from Banbridge, Katie McFarlane. 6 from New Ross, Ava Bailey. And 7 from Lisburn City, Holly Robson. Great start here from the athletes. In lane 2 we have Sophie Golden from Trojan, 3 also from Trojan, Hannah Poynton, 4 from Ards, Sophia Quigley, 5 from Banbridge, Katie McFarlane, 6 from New Ross, Ava Bailey, and 7 from Lisburn City, Holly Robinson. Good start here for the Ards swimmer in lane 4, Sophia Quigley, followed closely by the Banbridge swimmer Katie McFarlane. Then in third place at the moment is Hannah Poynton from Trojan. Getting their hand on the wall first at the 50 metre mark is going to be lane 5, Katie McFarlane, turning in 34.37, followed by Sophia Quigley, 34.45, and Ava Bailey in lane 6, 36.12. So great start here for the swimmers. It's a tough event for the women's 12 to 13 year olds. So great start here from the Banbridge swimmer Katie McFarlane, trying to pull away from Sophia Quigley, but Sophia Quigley isn't giving up too easily. Most athletes here are breathing every 2, and Sophia Quigley from Ards is pulling back here now to Katie McFarlane. Turning first is Sophia Quigley, 1:14.2. Katie McFarlane second, 1:14.41. Third, Hannah Poynton, 1:18. And fourth, Sophie Golden. Fifth, Ava Bailey. And sixth, Holly Robson. Here we see the Ards swimmer Sophia Quigley on that third 50. It's really important to work your third 50. Here she is showing that she's really working it. She's pulling away from Katie McFarlane. Nice and controlled, but really, really strong. Here they are approaching the last turn of this 200 metres. In first place at the moment is Sophia Quigley, 1:53.46. Katie McFarlane, 1:54.13. And turning in third place, the Trojan swimmer Hannah Poynton, 2:02.25. So here it is battling it out for first and second position, Sophia Quigley and Katie McFarlane. We've seen this happen throughout the whole race. Once Sophia gets ahead, Katie pulls back, but Katie is, after pulling ahead of Sophia, Maybe Katie has that little bit more energy at the moment and pace the race a little bit better. But she is ahead, half a body length ahead at the moment. And I think Katie McFarlane is going to get her hand. Yeah, she got her hand on the wall first. 2:33.03 for Katie McFarlane. In second place, 2:33.43 for Sophia Quigley. And in third place, it'll be the Trojan swimmer, Hannah Poynton, in a time of 2:46.64. So that's a huge improvement for Sophia Quigley. Yesterday evening went 2:37, 2:33 this morning for both Sophia Quigley and Katie McFarlane. So big drops there, and also from Hannah Poynton. They'll be all very, very pleased with that. There on our screens we have the official results. We're going to move on to medal presentations now, so we'll be back with you shortly. going to welcome our athletes for the men's 15 and over, 1500 metres freestyle. Our athletes are going to start walking out now. In lane 0 we have Ben Lynch from Enniskillen, Lake Landers, 1 Matthew Smith, Northampton Swimming Club, 2 Dennis Kilbride, New Ross, 3 Jackson O'Rourke, Northampton Swimming Club, 4 Daniel Jervis, Swansea University, 5 Liam McLaughlin, YDS Scotland, Patrick Mahoney, Northampton Swimming Club, Raz Van Gramps, Northampton Swimming Club, Josh Denholm, City of Sunderland, and Caelan Maguire, Lisbon City. We're joined here for this event with Performance Director John Rudd. John, how has the competition been going so far?
I think the competition's gone very well so far. It's fantastic to have such international representation here alongside our Irish athletes, and it's a great opportunity for both the Irish swimmers and those from abroad to test themselves a little bit, probably quite early in the cycle, because the trials for Ireland are in 2 weeks, the trials for Great Britain are in 4 weeks. 5 weeks and 7 weeks, sorry, I'm getting my numbers wrong. And so everybody's on a relatively even playing field of training fatigue and an eye on a bigger event in a few weeks' time, but a great opportunity to test racing skills and to see what they can do with still with a little bit of fatigue in the body.
And overall, we've seen some really good performances so far. Where does that set us up leading into trials for the Irish athletes?
Well, we have to be careful of getting excited about fast swims here, and we also have to be careful of not getting worried about swims that aren't so fast here. It's definitely horses for courses when it comes to how athletes are at a particular point in a training cycle. There are some athletes that can sit very close to their best times and then still drop at the time that really matters. And then there are others that are significantly far away from their best times and then will and can drop when you need them at the competition that matters. So it's really hard to make a generic reference to whether certain people are in better shape or in a better stage of preparation than others. I think what's been the most pleasing thing for me, particularly looking at the Irish athletes at this competition, is a conviction to race and to race tough, to try and swim races strategically well and to construct good race process, because for many, particularly of the younger athletes, this will be their last real long course opportunity racing time before the Irish Open, and an opportunity to stand up against 7 other people in the final and take them on head to head. You know, you and I earlier, Grania, we were talking about racing process and how that's important, but still at the end of the day, your own process has got to be able to take on 7 opponents in a final and to challenge, and we've certainly seen that as well. So time will tell. 5 weeks from now, time will tell.
Absolutely, and I suppose we've seen in the 4x200 there, or the 200 freestyle relay, we have Brendan Hyland swimming fast in it. We had Jordan and great swim from Jack McMillan. So an exciting time from a relays point of view as well as individuals.
There's no doubt about it that, yeah, the relays are a really exciting prospect, and we could go to the Olympic Games with anywhere between 0 and 4 relays, and we could actually have 4 relays that really perform and not go with any of them. And we could have again up to 4 relays that very, very easily could make the World Top 16 by the close of qualification, which is the end of May. It is really, really tight. The first 12 places at the Olympic Games were secured at the World Championships in Korea last summer for the teams that finished in the top 12 in the heats. The next 4 places at the Olympic Games are basically up for grabs. We have 2 temporary berths in there at the moment. Our men's medley relay are 14th and our men's 4x200 freestyle relay are 16th, so they're on a knife edge. In fact, you would say both teams are on a knife edge, and all of the nations who are keen to see those relays compete at the Olympic Games outside of the World Top 12, you know, will be doing everything that they can now to try and ensure that they secure those qualifications. But it's a really, really big deal for us because we haven't had a relay at the Olympic Games since 1972, and we haven't had a men's relay team at the Olympic Games ever. So these would be significant steps for us as a nation and as a swimming program. And those 2 relay teams we've got a good focus on. And then the women's medley relay and the mixed medley relay sit very, very close to those two in terms of a priority for us. So we're putting two pieces in place to try and enable qualification in those events. 3 relays will compete as national teams at the Irish Open at the beginning of April as part of our Olympic trials, in the hope that 2 of the teams can better the times they did at the Worlds, and the women's medley relay for the first time will swim together as a quartet and try and post a time that's World Top 16. And then the last opportunity, and that includes the last opportunity for most teams, are the European Championships, which are a few weeks later in May. And in Budapest, we'll swim up to 5 relays there, including the men's 4x100 freestyle relay, subject to all of them achieving a consideration time from the trials, and a cumulative time of individual swims from the trials that's satisfactory to take them all. And to all intents and purposes, that performance in Budapest will be the line in the sand for all nations, and then we'll know. So it is a really exciting time for our athletes in terms of being able to not only compete at the Olympic Games, but I still believe that there's nothing in a greater glory than competing for your nation in a relay. I think it's something really, really special for you to stand there with 3 other guys and to do a job together. And if we can, by guys I meant guys and girls. Guys to me are both genders, Gronya. So for the to stand together with 3 teammates and to deliver together, there's nothing more honourable than that for your nation. So it'd be fantastic for us to have 1 or more relays there.
And how overall, obviously it's tough to know that yes, you as an individual you need to go to the Irish trials and do your time. Then you have to, if you get selected, you're going to Europeans. How are they going to process that? Because obviously it's quite a short turnaround. I know between here and Irish Open is short turnaround, but they're not rested here, so they're going to be tapered. For Irish Open, they need to be back ready to swim fast at Europeans. How do you think the athletes will adjust to that?
It's certainly not an easy task, and the positioning of the European Championships is what it is. So it's no use grumbling about it. Coaches and athletes have got to deal with the dates and have got to put the best process they can in place. The main attention for everybody, absolutely everybody, has to be to deliver at the Irish Open. We don't have many athletes that theoretically can only qualify as individuals. Most of our athletes that can qualify for the Olympic Games can also feature on a relay. But everybody
takes the pressure off a little bit.
It does, yeah. But everybody has to put their attention into the Irish Open because everybody is fully rested and tapered for those 5 days. You would say most of the athletes then have the best chance to see 1 or more relays qualified from that meet. The European long course has to be seen as a last-ditch attempt and a backup attempt, really. Because as you say, with only a few weeks between the Irish Open and that competition, it is difficult to put a block of training in and then re-prepare. And for the athletes who qualify as individuals at the Irish Open, we won't expect them to fully prepare for the European Long Course Championships. We'll expect them to attend. We'll probably expect them to shave, but we won't expect them to go through a full taper process again, because that's asking them to compromise their Olympic Games to some degree in terms of individual swimming. So we really want it done at the Irish Open, and then the European Long Course is our backup plan. It's our safety net, and if everybody prepares in that way, we have more chance of success.
Absolutely. And I know we've just spoke about the Olympics. Obviously there's other competitions going on this summer. European Juniors, we've seen some great swims from our juniors this competition. Owen Corby especially, who is still European Juniors, am I right in saying that? Yeah. What's our goal for our European Juniors for this summer?
Well, at this European Junior Championships, particularly with Owen still being of that age, and with some of the other exciting talent that we have still at European Junior level, and from some of those athletes stepping up from the European Youth Olympic age bands, we've got some great opportunities at European Juniors. You would expect that we should be coming back with medals on this occasion, and Our policy around our junior program selection for national teams is that they have to deliver in the heats at the trials. And if they don't, they can still make the team from the finals, but the time that they have to achieve in the finals is harder. And this is to make sure that when we do take a team into a European Juniors or a World Juniors or a European Youth Olympics, that those guys are the ones that have proven that they can deliver strong swims in the morning. In the past, we've taken athletes who can show that they can deliver a finals in the afternoon and swim quickly, but never get into those finals at international level because they haven't shown the ability to deliver them at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So although it's tough, it's a strong development tool for our youngsters. Now we take our foot off the gas in that sense with the senior selection policy that's not necessary, but the hope is by the time our athletes have gone through a 4-year process of trying to qualify for the European Juniors, by the time they get to seniors, those habits are in place of delivering in morning heats. Because again, we don't have many seniors that have the luxury of turning up to a World Championships or an Olympic Games, swimming outside of their best in the morning and still making top 16 and getting a semi-final swim in the evening. That's tough. There aren't many athletes in the world that have that luxury. And at this moment in time, there are very, very few Irish athletes that can take that chance. They have to be able to deliver in the morning. So it's a cultural shift that we're trying to engage with. And for the coaches and athletes that engage with it, they'll have success. And for those who don't, they'll find themselves not getting international swims. And there were particular swimming club programs last year when we introduced it for the first time that really bought into it. And you could see who those coaches and who those athletes were, because they were the ones that dominated the population of the teams and then produced the goods when they got there as well.
Which is exactly what you want to see.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I suppose coming here with our heats in the evening and finals in the morning, it's a great opportunity for them to stand up at night and then come back in the morning and have to prove themselves again and swim faster. Are you happy with what you've seen over the last 2 days? Have athletes stood up and swum faster? I know a few have, but they've been better. What are your views on it?
Well, it's interesting that it's almost a terminology that you need to take away for an athlete to be able to swim fast in the morning. So we've, over the last 3 years of being present in Ireland, I've seen that morning swims have got better, but there are still some good athletes that like to just flop around in morning swims knowing they're going to get afternoon swims, and then you see something that's significantly better, and that's no use to us at international level. But what I have seen at this competition is fast swims in the morning that are at least as good as you've seen the night before, sometimes better. And it's because the terminology final has been used. It's just a psychological switch in the brain of this is a final, so I have to swim quick. So they have swum quick in the morning. So maybe it's just it's only a heat attitude that we have a problem with certain athletes and certain programs. Because for doing this for the first time, where you've got to start racing 10 o'clock in the morning and swim fast if you want to stand on a podium or whatever it may be, and we've been able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's doable. It's just a psychological switch that needs to be flicked. And at the Irish Open, particularly for the juniors, they need to turn up in the morning and just be thinking final, because that's, if they deliver it there, their ride onto the national team is softer.
Yeah, maybe we just need to change heats to finals and we'll see what happens.
Well, having seen this, we did this specifically for Tokyo preparation, and I think it's why it's been attractive to the British contingent and the Welsh team, the Scottish youth squad, and a number of British clubs. Fantastic. We did it for us, but it was good that other people saw the benefit and jumped on a flight to come and race with us. I don't see why we would change it, because it shakes up the dynamic of racing. I think that because we're a low swimming populace compared to other nations, there is a degree in a lot of races where 8 athletes stand up, and you can almost go you can certainly go 1 to 4 in a finishing order, or 1 to 6 in a finishing order, or you wouldn't get it too far wrong. But by changing the dynamic of putting the heats in the afternoon and the finals in the morning, that isn't so prevalent anymore. We're getting a few shocks, a few surprises, particularly when they're tired from training and not in a full state of preparation. So again, the McCullagh meet is a really, really important meet because of who Dave McCullagh was and what he did for Irish swimming. It's why we put it on in this great venue. It's why it has the gravitas with Swim Ireland as a national meet. But it's no longer a trials. It's a fantastic preparation event for what's coming next, which is our sole trials. And I think that's how it will be situated from now going forwards. So let's put this kind of thing in place where it takes athletes and coaches out of their comfort zone and makes them do something a little bit different, because if we put those tools in place so that the athletes are better prepared to be able to take on all sorts of challenges when it comes to higher levels of competition that maybe they're already at or they have aspirations for, then it has to be good for Irish swimming going forward.
And you always want to take an athlete out of their comfort zone. It's not good for them to be in their comfort zone 24/7 and all year round. Coming to these competitions, it prepares them for international competitions when they come in the summer, when they step outside. The likes of some of our juniors, they're competing against amazing international athletes from the UK. It gives them preparation going forward into European juniors, or if they're going to other competitions.
I absolutely agree with you. I think what was quite interesting for me was looking at some of the junior finals. If we had no international visitors, there would have been an Irish junior swimmer stood top of the podium. But because we had some international visitors, maybe that particular Irish swimmer might have been 4th, 5th or 6th. And although that means they haven't won the medal, you'll know as well as anybody from your swimming career that you learn an awful lot more from defeat and from taking on people that are better than you at a particular time in your career than you do from persistently and consistently winning. It's one of the worst things that can happen to a young swimmer. So every time they turn up, they win. And maybe they get then the context of how good they are gets lost by them and maybe their parents or maybe the coach, because they don't know what else is out there and what other swimming looks like in other nations. So to be able to put on an event of this calibre and this professionalism so that athletes and their coaches come from outside of the nation to race against us on our soil, that's a fantastic thing for our juniors to see and benefit from. And for all of the clubs and coaches and parents who didn't enter their youngsters into this competition, for whatever reason that might be, you're missing a trick. And you need to be here, and you need to be here next year, because there's no doubt that just racing in your region doesn't teach you an awful lot, and just racing in your own nation doesn't teach you an awful lot. This is a great way of getting international racing for club athletes without having to get on a ferry or without having to get on a flight.
Absolutely.
So you have to grab that. Yeah. And if we continue to put on this competition in this format at this time of the year, and with this level of professionalism in terms of delivery that Adam Cox and Pat Daly and their team have put on, athletes will continue to come here, and young Irish swimmers out there need to take advantage of that, just for the sake of a few hours in the car.
Absolutely, and I think the more times you're beaten, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to grow as an athlete. So don't be afraid of being beaten is, I suppose, a key message, because it ultimately gets your goals, and you can achieve your goals from what you learn from it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's absolutely no shame in defeat. In most things we do, somewhere along the line, we will ostensibly find somebody somewhere in the world that's better at us at whatever it is that we're trying to do. It's very, very hard to be the best person in the world at anything. So to better ourselves and to in the pursuit of that personal excellence, it makes sense to be constantly seeking challenge that's beyond where we are at this moment in time. And if that means a 13-year-old racing a 15-year-old, then so be it. But if that means a 13-year-old racing another 13-year-old but from a different nation or someone they don't know, then that's equally as good, and they'll learn something from that. And there's no doubt that every time you dive into a race and you don't hit the wall first, you dive into the next race just a little bit better. Even if you don't know you're better, just something subconsciously clicks and changes, and you deliver something better next time.
Absolutely, and it's all about learning, and that's why like all our athletes here today who have come from juniors right through to seniors, they've learned every day of their career, and that's what's making them the athlete today. Like I remember, I think it was last year here, Shane Ryan slipped on the block in the 100 metres backstroke. That made him stronger going forward. He's never probably done that since, and I hope going forward he never does it again. It's just learning from your mistakes and from things that have happened.
Yeah, and sometimes mistakes are things that are outside of your control. So the thing that you mentioned there around Shane, around not getting his backstroke start right, my goodness, we wanted it here if it was ever going to happen, rather than at the trials or at the World Championships in the summer. So exposing athletes to pressurized competition situations where those things can go wrong. They wobble on the blocks a little bit. They haven't put the wedge in the block quite firmly enough so it shifts when you press on it. The backstroke rail isn't set properly. Whatever that might be, particularly for athletes in clubs where they don't have turning pads to turn on, or backstroke rails to practice on, or wedge blocks to practice with. If you're not going to bring those athletes to competitions like this, when your club maybe is under-resourced a little bit, not the fault of the club, just the fact that these things are very expensive.
Yeah.
If you're not going to bring athletes to this level of competition to expose them to that, well, when is that going to happen?
Yes.
And you might find that they go to the Irish Summer Nationals or the Division 2 competition in the summer where it really does matter, and that's the pinnacle of the season, and they haven't picked up those skills and attributes that they need in order to be able to deal with that situation well enough.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks a million, John, for
No
joining
problem.
us here, and the best of luck for the rest of the competition and for the year ahead.
Thanks, Grania.
No worries, thank you. So on the blocks at the moment, we have the women's 14 and over 800 metres freestyle. In lane 0, Ellie Hamilton from YDS Scotland. 1, Ella Carroll from National Centre Limerick and Limerick. Molly McCullagh, Leander. Grace Hodgkins from Trojan. Amelia Kane in lane 4 from Ards. In lane 5, Catherine Bailey from Perth City Swim Club. In lane 6 from Dolphin, Hannah O'Shea. In lane 7 from Northampton Swimming Club, Poppy Harper. In lane 8 from Sligo, Danielle Farrell. And in lane 9 from Asgard, Hazel Bentley. Swimmers have just started for the 800 freestyle. In lane 0, Ellie Hamilton. 1, Ella Carroll. 2, Molly McCullagh. 3, Grace Hodgkins. 4, Amelia Kane. 4, Catherine Bailey. 5, Hannah O'Shea. 6, Bobby Harper. 7, Danielle Farrell. 8, Danielle Farrell, and 9, Hazel Bentley. There we have in lane 4, starting nice and strong, Amelia Kane. She's going to turn first. She's going to go out nice and controlled in 30.44 for Amelia Kane, followed by Catherine Bailey. And in third place at the moment, Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin. Great start here from Amelia Kane. Amelia breathing every 2 and then taking a 4, but always breathing to the left side. So she'll be well aware of what's going on from her left side on the way up and then the other side on the way down. There's Amelia Kane turning first, 104.01. Catherine Bailey, 105, and Hannah O'Shea, 105.7. In lane 2 there we have Molly quite close, and also out in lane 6, Hannah O'Shea. Amelia Kane getting into a good rhythm. Nice and controlled. We saw Amelia in the 1500 metres yesterday, and as we saw as she swam through the 1500, she got more comfortable. 138.6 there turning for Amelia Kane. Second, Bailey, 136, and third, Hannah O'Shea, 140. In fourth place, out in lane 8, Danielle Farrell. But Amelia Kane really built into that 1500 yesterday. Her stroke actually got longer as she picked up her pace and got faster. But Catherine Bailey in lane 5, the swimmer from Perth City Swimming Club, is not leaving her away. Coming into the 200 metre mark, Amelia Kane turning in 2:13.5. Nice start there in the 200. Catherine Bailey 2:14, and in third place we still have Hannah O'Shea 2:16. Really controlled here, and some swimmers will break this up into 4 200 metres, some will do it 8 100s, or will do it 50s, so depending on what works for each swimmer, they'll have a race plan in place, and they'll be sticking to it. They'll be concentrating on their own race. 800 metres is quite a long distance, anything can happen. Amelia Kane turning in first place in 2:48, Catherine Bailey 2:49.32, and Hannah O'Shea 2:51. So interesting, in fourth place at the moment is Grace Hodgkins 2:51. So we've got 3 swimmers there, and 2:51. McCullagh, Hodgkins and Hannah O'Shea. And Amelia Kane trying to extend that lead there from Bailey. Out in lane 8 at the moment too, we have Danielle Farrell, so I think we have a clear leader here is Amelia Kane turning 3:22.97. Catherine Bailey 3:24.6. Grace Hodgkins 3:26. In fourth, Molly McCullagh, and in fifth, Hannah O'Shea. So again, anybody's game here. I think we have our clear leader, Amelia Kane. Second at the moment is Catherine Bailey, and it's a fight for third between Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin, Grace Hodgkins from Trojan, and Molly McCullagh from Leander. So here is Kane turning to 3:57.69. Catherine Bailey 3:59. Third, Grace Hodgkins 4:01, and then we have the Leander swimmer and the Dolphin swimmer on 4:02. So I think if Grace Hodgkins can pull away from Molly and Hannah, she's going to try to do it now. So we're coming into the 400 metre mark, which is halfway. We're kind of seeing now that there's people in the race more comfortable. Amelia Kane, quick breath and a turn. 1, 2, 2 kicks off the wall, and she breathes her first stroke. 4:32. She turns on, followed by Catherine Bailey 4:34, and Hodgkins 4:36. Now we have Hannah O'Shea is now in fourth place. So we have the Leander swimmer and the Dolphin swimmer battling out for fourth and fifth. But we have Amelia Kane out ahead, followed by Bailey, and then followed by Hodgkins.
Third part of the race. Let's see if she can close the gap. Sprint race very similar.
Here's Amelia Kane turning 5:07. Again breathing off the turn. And Bailey took an extra stroke and then breath, but Hodgkins as well took a breath straight off the wall. Interesting tactics. You don't want to do too much underwater work because you want to get back into the rhythm straight away. In an 800, you don't want to lose your rhythm, so a lot of swimmers will do 1, 2, 3 kicks off the wall, max, and straight up into it. Interesting that Amelia is breathing right into the wall. Breath, turn. She's going to do 2 kicks, 1, 2, and a breath. Turning 5:42, followed by Bailey 5:44, and Grace Hodgkins 5:46. Then in Hannah O'Shea from Dolphin is in fourth place on 5:49. Here we have Amelia Kane with 250 metres to go, turning off in 6:17, followed by Bailey 6:19 and 6:21 from Hodgkins. So 2 seconds between first and second place and second and third place here now at the moment.
Hodgkins third, O'Shea fourth, McCullagh fifth. Following set.
Kane has picked up her stroke rate here now. She's coming into the 600 metre mark, which means that she's got 200 metres left. didn't take a breath into that wall. 2 kicks, and she's going to take a big breath there now. Turning in 6.52, Catherine Bailey 6.53, and Grace Hodgkins 6.55. Grace Hodgkins also breathing out of the wall, whereas Catherine Bailey, is taking a stroke and then a breath.
Hodgkins also still in the mix. Anything can happen with 150 meters.
Here we are with 150 meters to go. Amelia Kane, she sees that Catherine Bailey is chasing her down. 7.26, followed by Catherine Bailey, 7.28, and Grace Hodgkins, 7.29. So she's closing that gap. It was 2 seconds between each. It's still 2 seconds between Kane and Bailey, but Hodgkins is really chasing down Catherine Bailey. Great swim here from Amelia Kane. She's picking up her stroke rate. There's, as you can hear in the background, there's the bell, which means it's got another 100 meters to go. Amelia Kane has picked up her stroke rate. She's kicking her legs faster, but we have a battle here for second place between Grace Hodgkins and Catherine Bailey. Grace Hodgkins from Trojan, really nice stroke here, long stroke. But both swimmers, Bailey and Hodgkins, are closing in on Kane. Hodgkins, the lady in the green hat, really trying to close in on Amelia Kane. Both Kane looks as like she's tidying up. Here it is, Catherine, first place 8.36 Kane, second 8.37.5, and Hodgkins 8.37.7. Grace Hodgkins and Catherine Bailey are chasing Amelia Kane down this last 50. Amelia Kane can't really move her arms any faster. Her stroke rate is quite high before she starts slipping water. But Bailey is giving it her socks there to try catch her. Grace Hodgkins a little bit back. I do think that Kane will hold on. Amelia Kane, head down, hand on the wall first, 9:09.32, followed by Grace Hodgkins from 9:09, and in third place Catherine Bailey, 9:10. Again, anything can happen over 800 metres. We saw that Amelia led from the start. We had Hannah O'Shea in the mix for a while. We had Billy Anderson in the mix. Catherine Bailey was second for the whole race up until the last 50, where Grace Hodgkins got the touch. So great finish there from all these athletes. 9:09.32 from Amelia Kane, followed in second place from Grace Hodgkins, 9:09.93. And in third place, Catherine Bailey, 9:10.02. It's a great swim there. That brings us to the end of this morning's session. You'll be joined again at 4:30. Our live results there are just on the board. You'll be joined back again at 4:30 with Nick O'Hare. Thanks a million.